I like the wider field of view, but the lighting is dim and makes it grainy. Do you think like the wider field of view but a bit grainy, or less field of view but more clear? Okay, it says I'm live on the thingy. Oh, I have to fucking... It says I'm unable to connect to Facebook. This sucks. Why am I not allowed to... Sending data to unable to connect. It will not connect to my Facebook. God damn it. Keeps trying to send data to Facebook. Unable to connect. Why? Don't choose to create a new event post. Okay. Saving. Says offline. Sending data. I wonder if this will fix it. Sending data. Oh, it's working now. That's so weird. I had to hit the toggle for dismantling. I had to hit the toggle to not use Facebook as a stream option and then just toggle it back on again. Let me just double check. Streaming. Okay, it's working now. I hate dumb tech. Like, that's dumb. It's dumb because it's not intuitive and there's no hinting or insinuation that's something you'd have to do. Like, no, small print, if just won't connect, disconnect the channel and reconnect channel. Like, it doesn't tell you that's something you'd have to do. Toggle it on off. It's so dumb. Okay, are you guys there? Am I live?
Or says poop.
Okay, where's the, let's go to the Twitch. Uh-oh.
Power Trip says poop.
Twitch.
Soygon Beach Power Trip says poop.
Twitch.
Soygon Beach Power Trip says poop.
I like this.
Power Trip says the eternal loop.
I like it. It's pretty good. Okay. So we are live, going to all three platforms right on. Okay. Now, question. The 75-degree lens is clearer in this low light, or we go the wider angle, 120 degrees, but in this lower light, it's a bit grainy. What is better? More FOV but grainy, or less FOV and clear? I need your professional opinions here. No one's got any opinions. Anyways, that was like probably a half an hour of dicking around to get that all figured out, which is a waste of time I cannot afford. But it's working. What's my battery at? 85. I feel like it might be going down slowly. Okay. I am live on different platforms right now while working. If you wanted to check out and ask. Oh God. It's like I'm in like an emergency mode here. This is like super serious. It's like, oh, we can't hang out together. Oh, fuck you then. Oh, well, what are you going to do? All right. Am I live still? Can you guys see me? Is it working? I don't know. I got to get back to work. I am using the remote microphone, so you guys should hear me clear. I have the TTS going, so I should hear you guys clear. I need to finish taking off this ramp surface, A, so it's ready to go, and B, once it's off, we can use this ramp area for like sorting things. The roomies left so much stuff here, and I do not know if it's stuff they plan to keep or not. But I need one of the rooms to like stage my my exit. So I need a place to put everyone's stuff because I don't know what they're doing with it. Somewhere I used to have the template for this ramps transition. I should actually make sure to trace it. Because if anyone were going to build a mini, this is one of the greatest minis that ever lived. Is anyone there? All that dicking around to make sure things were working, and now no one's talking, and I don't know if I'm live or not. Can anyone check the Facebook Soybomb HQ page, see if it's working? What the fuck is that? Oh, there it is. Wait, who said that? God damn it, I have no... This shit, this TTS is...
I only have Messenger on my phone. Power Trip says Trip said that.
Oh, hey, Trip. So you only use Facebook on your PC. Gotcha.
Champion says more faking have friends.
Small talk. Are you able to check the Soybomb HQ page on Facebook to tell me if I'm live? And at the bottom and on the about info on the Twitch page, I think there's links to the
Says 1 sec.
and I think there's links in the about section and the panels on the Soybomb HQ Twitch page that also link to the YouTube. If you guys are able to help me, I'd really appreciate it because I can't figure out if things are working or not. It's crazy how I take for granted the ability to use a screw gun.
Champion says Facebook should be working. The Twitch page is fine.
So the Facebook Live is live? Okay, excellent. The Facebook HQ page is the, God damn it, is the spot to like reach more people because of all the connections on Facebook Soybomb has. So while I'm trying to do work to do this exit, God damn, it's an opportunity to like have an impromptu Q&A at some point. I think I'll also...
It says no YouTube link in the about section of this Twitch page.
Really? Or not in the about... Well, is there a link tree? There should be a link tree link that it'd have it, but I don't know. What the fuck is going on? Oh.
Champion says wait, I found it via a thumbnail. Never mind.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. Oh, this looks like it's got a kink in it.
Champion says YouTube is fine too.
All right, awesome. The service is working. It's a shame that there isn't a, well, whatever, it's working. I can't complain. Thank you for your help, Small Talk. I really appreciate it. Oh, there's a screw.
There's nothing wrong with a little kink now and then. Champion says no worries, bud. Side note, nothing wrong with a lot of kink every now and then.
That's right. No kink shaming in this stream. Why? I mean, my bit is getting pretty fucking... Wow. Oh, yeah, I gotta switch bits. What do I do with my tools? Oh, here they are, hiding behind them. Okay, let's see what
Champion says not to get heavy, but this is quite scene. The dismantling scene.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the reality of it is, I mean, yeah, it's shitty to see the ramp come apart. The ramp is so iconic for so many reasons. But, oh, my bit was pooched. Oop. But, the main reason I'm going through all this effort is besides saving the parts with the logo on it so I can make some framed art out of it. Memorabilia is, as I said earlier, someone's working on an art book project about soy bomb. They work in the print industry, and they mentioned about doing a bindery process for the book where treated MDF would be used as the cover stock for it. And I was like, I can reclaim the actual surface of the soy bomb ramp and the old surface, and they could be used as special editions of the book, so people would
That cover idea is awesome.
So yeah,
Our trip says, was no one able to help you at all?
I don't know. Technically, I had to break in to get into the space. I had to get a ladder, get on the roof, come in through the trap door, and in the top door to get. We don't have.
I would if I wasn't so far away.
No, it's cool, but I had no official access to the space until tomorrow, which is why I have to get all this work done. So tomorrow, I got a limited window to move everything out of here. And there's so much prep work. I was sick as a dog for like a week and a half. Like, we had the final show on the 30th, and then I had
How long are they giving you?
nothing. Like, we're done. Like, we're out of the space. The last show was on the 30th, and then I had officially till the Wednesday that week to get stuff going. But I got so fucking.
I know, but you said they were giving you some time to move.
Yeah, that was then. That was like till the 5th, right? And then I got super fucking sick, and I couldn't get anything done. I couldn't get anything done. And then the woman in charge, the go-between for like running the development, saw that the hoarding wall had been moved because we made our smoking section. And it saw also a bunch of graffiti and stuff and attributed that to us, and then started being petty and there was a time where it was worked out that we're handing over the keys, they're changing the locks, but they said they could put in a lockbox with a key to give us intermittent access for the time being to finish getting our stuff out. Then they saw all the graffiti and stuff, which wasn't us, and got all petty and didn't do that, which I suspect was the plan all along. They're petty. I think they're being petty because we fought them on the eviction. I was supposed to have access here last Wednesday because she was going to be around because of some construction site stuff. And that didn't happen. And I'm getting this feeling that I'm being dicked around. So.
Says new landlords being petty.
I mean, they're not landlords or developers. All they care about is leveling everything and moving on, right? Grabbing their money, ruining the neighborhood for a buck. It's funny is part of their thing is oh, we're building much needed housing. No, you're building high profit, fake luxury fucking condos that is inaccessible. Toronto doesn't need housing, it needs affordable housing. And people who do these expensive developments, they're not making accessible housing for the people that need it. It's just foreign investment. That's all it is. No one of working means can afford to even rent a condo. That say someone buys a condo and rents it out. In order to cover the mortgage, the rental cost is astronomical. So it's inaccessible in terms of the average working person's income. So these condo developers do absolutely nothing for the
Fabian says, oh, okay. So will this building remain and be redeveloped for condos without demolishing the whole building?
Oh no, it's getting demolished. Leveled to the ground. Big huge pit dug and a regular condo being replacing it. What's funny is that the building on the corner, the football factory, is actually super duper old, but it might be really old, but it's just a shit building. Like, it's literally falling apart. It has no nice architectural features of the era. It has no historical significance. And they're actually maintaining the facade of that old shit building and building the condo around it. And it's just like, this city has no intelligent, holistic design to it. And the forces of capital just destroy everything in its fucking path.
Yes, that's wow. I can't believe the football factory is still there. Ha ha ha.
Well, the business isn't. The business has been closed since COVID, but the building's still there. It's not in use. Like, right now, from the corner, the football factory, to the real estate to the south, the soy bomb, to eastward on Richmond, to 3 houses past the alley, that's the whole area that's being developed. And of all those buildings, the only one that isn't vacated yet is basically this one, because the boxing gym downstairs, they have a 4-month, what you call it, clause? A demolition clause. So once the demolition is announced, and then they get their 4-month eviction notice. But last I heard, they hadn't gotten that. There's some fishy stuff happening. They've applied for redevelopment for this lot, which is against what they told the LTB when we petitioned to not be evicted. So they've lied in official courts. So I don't think the fight is over yet, actually. Like, obviously we're not looking to come back here and live in here and use the space. Like, that's dead one way or the other. But if they can't break ground because they're repetitioning for a new development, and they lied about that to the LTB, which would have meant that we could have had more time here. And the difference in what everyone's paying in their new residences compared to what they're being paying here over the time we could have stayed here is a chunk of change. And they owe us that chunk of change for illegally evicting us. So I think we'll be going back to court. They want to fuck around. And I'm not exactly a moneyed person that can just like hire lawyers willy-nilly to fight legal battles. However, we do have a decent lawyer at our disposal who specializes in this stuff. And
Champion says, damn. So even now, the whole story isn't over.
Technically, no. We'll be out of here and gone. But I think we're going to be looking for a reimbursement. We're looking to make them pay for being backstabbing pieces of shit, fucking lying capitalist developer, neighborhood ruining sons of bitches. Is that a Robbie? No.
Champion says capitalism really is ruthless.
It's a system that only benefits those with capital. And it's never been more apparent than it is right now. Things are so bad, especially in the US, that the forces, the right-wingers and left-wingers are becoming united on basic concepts. They're bringing terrorism charges against the fucking guy who killed the CEO. That's crazy. Like, you cannot tell me that all the forces involved in this aren't aligned on the principle of making sure this kind of stuff doesn't happen. Like, the charging that guy with a terrorism charge.
He's still alive?
I mean, he doesn't present a threat in any capacity to anybody, like, anymore. So there's like, it doesn't benefit their messaging to do away with him. They would only make him a martyr. Whereas they keep him alive if he has any mental instability. Well, some people are dangerous to the system. And the system must, neutralize them. Someone like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, what are we going to do, jail them? That would only increase their message. For example, but someone who's kind of like a loner who thought that the Unabomber had a good thing going, keeping that person alive, because they might not be entirely with it, that benefits them to defame the messenger's message by defaming the messenger. Right? That's what they're trying to do. And that's why they're doing terrorism charges. I mean, he had a manifesto, but I don't think he had a list beyond the one. Like, I could be wrong, but I think it was straight up revenge for personal suffering with like a political messaging on top.
That's what I understand. At least what they made public.
But the thing is, the stronger they try to clamp down on the inherent message that was already understood long before this guy ever killed that CEO anyways, right? People are sympathetic to this guy because he's a good messenger. People are sympathetic because they already feel the same way before he even did that. Like, that's what, like, the harder they try and clamp down on this guy, the more they're already confirming everyone's fears, both educated and uneducated. They, instead of trying to throw the book at him with terrorism charges, which is like, oh, you're saying this guy's a terrorist. Does that mean the rest of us are terrorists? Are you setting the stage for any... Like, again, so this conversation started talking about this.
I don't understand the terrorist charge.
Well, he murdered a CEO and had a manifesto. I mean, he might not have killed more than one person, but the MO is similar to terrorist sort of MOs. Like, if the Unabomber's a terrorist, and I think we all say the Unabomber was a terrorist, this guy was a Unabomber who just hadn't racked up a bigger count, right? Potentially. I think that's why the charges.
Yes, I suppose so.
But they're not doing the terrorism charges because, like, oh, this guy sort of fits a terrorist MO. We should extra throw the book at him because he fits an MO. No, they're stretching that MO to further defame this messenger in order to defame the message. It's a deterrent. It's like, oh, you want revenge on the capital holding masters? Well, then we'll extra fuck you if we catch you. You know what I mean? Which I don't think is a smart move on their part. Because violent deterrence has never, ever stopped the oppressed, once they're pushed far enough, from taking action, you know?
Doesn't think it's just gonna make things worse.
Exactly. Do you guys remember in Kyiv in Ukraine like a decade or so ago when that big uprising happened? They were protesting in the streets for that like president to be gotten rid of because he was corrupt, taking money, bribes from Russia in order to have Russia have a monopoly on energy sales to Ukraine, yada yada. But the police started clamping.
Our trip says yes.
And the police started clamping down violently on the protesters, started sniping them and killing them in the street. That was the nail in the coffin for the regime. Once they started killing people, people are like, okay, you flip the switch. Now we kill you back. And there's way more of us than there is of you, right? So the stronger you clamp down on resistance to an unfair system, the more it's resisted. Look at Assad. Assad was a brutal dictator. The only reason he wasn't, and the only reason Assad wasn't taken down like a decade ago is there was like 4 or 5 different factions in the former Syria that were involved in the conflict. One of them being ISIS. And it's for the bulk.
Says I've seen things like this up close. It never ends good.
Yeah. And so basically all the other factions basically united to fight ISIS for the bulk of the Syrian civil war. Once ISIS was effectively destroyed in the region, it was like, you watch the map over the course of the years and like the different pockets that were controlled by different factions. And then in the last like month, the faction that won, you see them just take over everything. Syrian forces like dropped their weapons and ran. People left the country, right? If it wasn't for ISIS getting involved in like keeping everyone busy, Assad would have fallen a decade ago. And there is plenty of evidence to show that.
It says in the end it took 11 days to overthrow Assad.
Yeah. But there is evidence that shows that the ISIS faction that was the biggest resistance for the longest time in the region that everyone was fighting was formed and backed by the U.S. State Department. I think intentionally trying to topple the Assad regime. One of the reasons being Assad, for all his distasteful conduct, has been a long ally to Iran. Even though they don't agree on almost anything, alliances are held in much deeper regards in the region. And State Department saw the fall of the Assad regime a weakening of the power balance in Iran's favor, right? But all that did was just create havoc and brutality and orphans. And united a lot of the factions against ISIS. Like almost every other faction outside of ISIS was fighting against ISIS for the better part of the last decade. And you can thank the U.S. State Department for that. Fuck's sakes. But if you covertly fund a chaotic terror organization to topple a power structure, it works twofold. It means A, they get rid of that power structure. They weaken Iran's power cooperatives, and then create a new threat that they can like justify arming up against ISIS, right? Jesus. So, anyways, point being, Assad was a brutal anti-human dictator who did horrible things to his citizens out of fear and sake of preserving power. And he would have suffered and been deposed a long time ago if it weren't for other determining factors. Well, if it weren't for the largest political economic power in the world, or maybe second largest now, actually, considering China, getting involved in fucked up ways, Assad would have gone long ago. And my whole point is that oppression has an expiration date, always. And nowadays, you know, you can be repressive in a nation. You can try and stifle information. You can stifle even internet access to some degree. It doesn't matter. The genie's out of that bottle. You cannot stop the world from knowing about what you do. Everyone's got a cinematic quality camera, video camera on their fucking phones now. Even if you can't like easily upload video to the internet from an area you're in, you can throw it on a 25-cent USB key and smuggle it out of the country. Like it's impossible to oh fuck, this is an important one to get right here. It's impossible to run propaganda like they used to, like how the powers used to. Nothing's more clear in this too than like what's happening in Gaza and the West Bank now, and actually Lebanon and Syria itself. Like Israel's using the chaos of what's happening in Syria to just expropriate more land from Syria. Like it's crazy. Like they're fucking crazy. Also, the new regime in Syria is, of course, you know, an ally to Palestine. So I get why Israel would be fearful in that respect. But again, it's just like Israel is being run currently by dumb fascists who are trying to use what last bit of power they have from the US to get as much as they can and consolidate as much power as they can. So even if they're forced to stop, they hope to hang on to it in the long run. But again, they are not learning any lessons from history. These chickens will come home to roost. It's inevitable. But what we're talking about, we're talking about condo development in Toronto and capitalism. Now capitalism destroys everything. And it somehow turned into a big, I guess we're talking about, how did that turn into the messaging of Luigi?
Kathy, this is a fair deviation from the chat about capitalism.
Well, I think we're talking about capitalism as a power structure.
Power trip says capitalist, then it went from there.
I think, yeah. Well, I mean, capitalists like always try to control the message. If you're not part of the system, you're an enemy of the system. And how if you're not the one holding the purse strings, you don't have any democratic say in what happens in your communities. Like none. Jesus Christ. So, I guess it blossomed from there, using the examples of Luigi, and then Syria, and then Israel, talking about power structures, how they reinforce their power, and how it never works in the long run, and how it works even worse now than it ever did. So, I mean, like, ow. I mean, this city, this country, this culture has been...
says the deviation is also understandable because they are all tied topics with a common root evil.
Yep.
At least partially.
Yep. And I think that the common thread amongst them all is how power tries to maintain power, to maintain the status quo. The quo, right? We were talking about how like Toronto is a completely inaccessible, unaffordable city for anyone of just working class means, which is crazy because the city relies on working class people to just basically exist. Workers had to be shipped in via transit from the outer regions to serve those who can afford to be here. Like, it's fucked up. Is that beep? I just heard a weird beep. Oops.
Power trip says beep boop. Smoltop Champion says I heard 0 beeps.
Could be, I don't know if like, could beep on the speaker because the battery's going dead. I don't know. Don't have another battery pack here. If and that's the case.
Maybe it was your brain.
Oh, it's quite possible. I mean, if I'm live on the Facebook page, and I hope I am. If I'm live on the Facebook page,
says be right back.
Okay, I'm just going to quickly check the Facebook page. I need to know if it's Oh, I am live on the...
It says I think you're still live on FB.
Yep, still live on Facebook. It's all good. That's good. Earlier, I had like a couple people from the Facebook Live conversation, which was nice.
Champion says still live on YouTube too.
Excellent. Okay, the system's working. That's good. But anywho, okay. I have so many nice concrete pieces in here I won't know what to do with when I'm done. All right, let me get a cough candy. It's been like 2 weeks. I'm still not 100%. Still like, got minor coughing issues that won't go away. Very persistent. But anyways, in the case of soy bomb, it is.
Cynthia says the cough is probably due to the weather. The fact that you've been busy nonstop for a couple of weeks or more now. Ha, ha, ha.
No, I was sick for a week plus. I think I got COVID, like at the 29th party. Not the 30th, but the 29th. I lost all energy on the 1st of December, the day after the last party. And then Monday I came to try and, oh yeah, Monday, or was it Sunday night even? Might have been Sunday night. Like I started getting the shivers and then started vomiting. And I basically vomited for 24 hours. And then got diarrhea at the end of that. I was vomiting and shitting at the same time. It was awful. So, pretty sure on the 29th I got a COVID here at the second last party. Because of how quickly it hit me. Someone brought a super bug to soy bomb. Motherfuckers. And I was basically bedridden for the bulk of the first week of December. And pretty inactive for the second. At that point, even though we petitioned to get some extra time to get out of here, because there's no one coming to take possession of the space because it's geared for demolition. So it was not, you know, the manager was all like,
Says as a teacher, I can relate.
yeah. But talking about children spreading the plague.
Worst says big time.
There's a screw here somewhere, and I do not know where. Where's the flat bar?
Says I'm back.
Hello, back. What was that? Where the
Says hello, friend. Small Talk Champion says I tuned into the stream of the show. I'm glad I could check a bit of the live show out.
Yeah.
I caught the start of Big Brave and most of the band before that.
Oh, They Grieve. You didn't see, I mean, the VODs are still up on all the platforms. The Animal Faces set was awesome. Like, exceeded expectations. On all fronts. Oh, found it. Haha, get fucked.
Says not to jinx anything, but you might want to mod Small Talk or someone who's been here a lot just in case.
Good call. Can I do that from the mobile? Good call.
Champion says what Trip said.
So you guys aren't mods already, huh? How do I fucking do that? How do I
Small
fucking
Talk
do
Champion
that?
says no mods here.
How do I
Small Talk
fucking do that?
Champion says no mods here.
How do I fucking do that?
Howard Trip says this is my second time in this channel. I don't think there are any mods. Howard Trip says, oh god.
You love it.
Champion says that was terrifying.
As it should be. Deeply unsettling. Okay.
Says Soy went into another dimension.
I was already there. Okay. Okay, Small Talk Trip, you are modified. Thank you very much. Appreciate your service.
Says so. Welcome back then.
Okay. So So we're talking about the forces of capitalism, development, and accessibility to space and housing in the city. Should probably converse more about those things. I think there's a big conversation to be had about how the city's changed in the last decade, which has destroyed art culture in general, and art culture specifically. Anyone want to talk about that? Anyone have any points they'd like to make? I could make some points if we'd like to, get the conversation.
Vivian says, I'm sure you'll make all the necessary points.
I mean, the reason why I'm streaming tonight, first of all, I haven't been able to like stream for almost a month. Like my regular Twitch channel, gaming, streaming, I haven't streamed in a month. I've been fucking busy and sick and busy. But since I was here doing work and I'm a captive participant, because I have to be here getting this shit done, I figured, you know what? It's a good opportunity to, A, keep myself company with people who might show up in the stream while I'm doing this work, because I'm alone here. And B, have some conversations about soy bomb. I think it's a good opportunity to have some conversations about soy bomb and soy bomb related things.
Says, what if the booger man gets you?
The booger man? Who's the booger man?
Champion says you mean Boogie Many.
Boogie Many?
Power Trip says no.
No, it's the man made entirely of boogers. And he'll turn you into a booger and then eat you. I'd forgotten about this. So.
Says that sounds way worse than the man. Olman Forrest says it me.
So this ramp.
Circle Zero says, what year did you first move into or rent the soy bomb space?
What was that? What year did you first move into? 2003. It was October 2003 we took the space. Immediately demolished everything that the previous tenants had because it was kind of fucked up. And then started slowly rebuilding. I didn't have a bedroom for the first 3 years of living here. I literally, like, for the first 3 months, I had my bed set up in this space, like the ramp didn't exist yet. And I had some, like, clothes hangers and bookshelves blocking me off to have some privacy. We had the one bedroom built in the back, which was, like, partially built. And that was my brother was supposed to have lived in there. But he only lived here for, like, 3 months. Nate had the second room at the far back to the right with all the windows. That was the next one to be built. Took me a while to get my room done because after those two, like my whole thing, like in order to get this space moving, like I could never afford, as most people could, never afford to have this space to themselves, right? A huge expense. So if it's going to be collective, you have to make sure that the collective is content or the collective will leave or whatever. So I had to make sure that my roommates had rooms, had to make sure the bathroom was decent, I had to make sure that the kitchen was coming along. But in the what year? I think January, February 2004, we built the ramp. Because that was the whole purpose. The whole purpose of getting this space. I had a fledgling skateboard company. My roommate and other close buddies were all skaters. My brother's a skater too. He just didn't last long enough. But the whole point was to have a space where we could have a good ramp, right? And once the ramp was built, we skated every fucking night for 3 years, which is one of the main reasons my room never got built for so long. Come home from work, doing construction, and then skateboarded until I couldn't skate anymore. That's why one of the main reasons I didn't have a bedroom for 3 years. When the ramp was built, my bed and the bookshelves encasing it to give me some privacy was moved into the far corner over there. There used to be a fireplace there, a gas fireplace. Eventually dismantled that, but
Champion says, do you remember how much rent was when you first moved in 2003?
$2,700. $2,700 was the rent, and it kind of stayed at $2,700 for a long time. The original landlord we had here, Costa, was a very irregular landlord. He didn't raise the rent for like years. 2010, I think he wanted to raise the rents, and I was like, okay, listen, give me a few months to get more stable, and then we can raise the rent. And he's like, okay. And then, such a nice, weird guy. And then when it came time, I was like, oh, there's a transition. Someone's moving out. We're trying to get another roommate in. I can't do a rent raise right now. Give me till April, and we'll go from $2,700 to $3,000, and that'll make up for all the rental raises that you didn't do over the last decade.
Multi Champion says, what a great landlord, ha ha ha.
Yeah, not a normal landlord at all. Nice guy. To this day, I still consider him like a friend and ally to Soy Bomb to some extent. I mean, him selling fucked us over, but I certainly cannot blame him for wanting to cash out.
Champion says, actually, what was in this soy bomb space before you moved in?
It was two artists that were living here who had like previously had grants that allowed them to afford to be here. There was actually sort of a bedroom here, a really shitty bathroom, a second sort of public bathroom. And then this space here was sort of half finished, and it was meant to be a living room when it wasn't an art gallery, right? And that's what this space was. Back there was a big, huge workspace, the middle third almost of Soy Bomb. And you could barely call it a kitchen, but they had a sink, and I don't even know if there was a stove or anything, but there's a kitchen-esque thing there, and everything else is open. And it was this.
It says, do you have a personal favorite show that happened here?
God damn. I mean, I was asked that question during the last show. We had so many seminal fucking bands, like old faves and contemporary faves at the time, like the band Alaskan from Ottawa played here a bunch. And the reason why they played here a bunch, besides the fact that they like playing here, is that I fucking love them. The band Alaskan, two of the three members are now They Grieve, who played here at the last show. They carry on a thread of progressive metal, progressive like post-hardcore metal in Ottawa that dates back to like the 90s. Like you go back to Uranus. Uranus redeveloped the idea of hardcore and metal in the DIY post-hardcore community, like worldwide. And then as they called it quits, the band Buried Inside was emerging in Ottawa. There was never more than one band at a time in Ottawa that did anything good. And when Buried Inside was calling it quits, Alaskan was emerging. And there was no consistent thread from these bands. No members that carried on, completely separate entities. And when Alaskan is coming out with this like glorious sludge metal, and I can't remember how I eventually contacted them to come play here, but so they played here like a few times. They played my birthday parties. They played a bunch of gigs. Those guys are amazing. During They Grieve set on the 30th, I cried at the end of it. Like, just got really emotional. How like what they were doing here was all I ever wanted to do here. Like at that moment, I was like, fuck, man, this is all I ever wanted to do. So awesome. You know what I mean? Like still, I'm blown away to this day that I got to do all that shit, you know? Host my favorite bands in the world. So anyways, that's Alaskan, right? Very important band to me. Mare played here. Mare, which to this day was a one-off EP around 2004-ish, 2003, 2004. I saw them play before that, actually. And they did something unique and new, so specific that no one even dared copy them for the next 10 years, lest they be called out as Mare clones. Like, just so specifically unique and amazing. And they only did one long EP. That's all they ever fucking did. And over time, I eventually came comrades with them, and they played one of the revival gigs here, and it was fucking insane. I think that is close to being like the best show, but there's a bunch of best shows. Zadax played here that might not have been, or might have been my birthday party. I know they're supposed to play one of my birthday parties, and they had to back out. No, the other one was a tour. It wasn't a birthday party. It was just a tour they were already on. They'd never played Canada before. And I believe they got set up a date in Montreal, and they played Montreal, and they played Toronto. And that came about because I became online friends with Nick Sakes. Zadax was the two-piece partner band of Chrissy Rossetti and Nick Sakes. They were married. They had their two-piece band. Glorious, aggressive, atonal noise rock. But what's important about Zadax is Zadax was Nick Sakes. And Nick Sakes, who was also previously in Sick Bay, Colossomite, other various projects, and way, 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 way back to like the early 1990s, was in the band The Dazzling Killmen. And The Dazzling Killmen are the velvet underground of aggressive atonal noise rock. They're a band that probably only had 1,000 fans while they existed, but every one of those fans went on to make an amazing band project. That's what people would say about Velvet Underground. Where Velvet Underground was an existing band, they only had 1,000 fans, but every one of those fans went on to make an amazing band. That's what Dazzling Killmen was, I think, to noise rock in the early 90s. Their final record in like Swan Song, The Face of Collapse, is still a horrifying, beautiful masterwork to this day. Stands on its own. It's like Mare. They did something so unique and so incredible that no one could even come close to trying to copy it. Like, it just stands on its own as such a specifically unique thing. And I didn't get Dazzling Killmen to play here, but Nick Sakes played here with his wife, and that is fucking awesome. So, I mean, so that was a pretty important show for me here.
Says Alaskan played my first soy bomb experience. That was really when I realized I finally was in a space and having a live music and community experience that I have dreamed about for years until then. We'll never forget it.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, while I worked my ass off to make a space that we could have participatory events like that and gather like-minded people and create new like-minded people, at the end of the day, for all the work I did, I felt like just another participant at the gigs that were here. Yeah, I was the host. I was in charge of making sure shit was going on okay. But over the years, I did develop a system to run this space so that it could largely go on automatic, because we developed this flow chart of ways to deal with shit. And so that when gigs were happening, I was just really just another participant that was always blown away by what was happening here. I was as much of an excited, what the hell? Uh-oh, careful. As much of an excited participant as anyone else, So the space evolved to become what it was because of just me wanting to be in a space like that, I guess. You know what I mean? Look at this. This is fucking Bondo. So,
Champion says what year had the first show at Soy Bomb?
2004, we would have had a keg party with bands playing. I was always in bands up to a certain point, and my band played here. Before Soy Bomb existed, I was always in bands. And always just trying to organize some DIY show with my band and friends' bands, right? And When we got this space, it was natural, like I'd done in any previous space I'd ever been in, to sort of turn it into an ad hoc party venue space. So it would have been later 2004 maybe. My band played, other friends' bands played, friends of friends' bands played. We had a keg, there was no cover, and I think it was like $5 or $10 all you could drink from the keg. Because we also got like kegs from Amsterdam, which used to be down the street, for like the friends and family deal. So we got like half price kegs. So we just had this really cheap keg party with live bands. And at some point, like after Jaeger had moved in, he knew one or two of the guys in the Raise Them and Eat Them band who I'd seen and really liked. And he asked them if they wanted to play a house party. And again, we weren't charging cover at this point, so we weren't paying bands. It was like, hey, you want to show up, drink all you can drink, and like play a big party. And Raise Them and Eat Them did a party. Raise Them and Eat Them had Ken and Jay Galbraith in that band, and eventually they started their new band Aykroyd. And Aykroyd, I'm trying to remember when it happened, like somewhere around like 2008. So like we only had like 2 or 3 parties in the first 3 years because so much work was happening. The place was a construction site. We couldn't have parties most of the time, right? And so we had very few things in those first 3 years. But after a bunch of construction got complete, we had a big party. And at that point, Ken and Jay had started Aykroyd, and I asked them if they wanted to play, and they said yes. And it was fucking awesome. And when they played, and there's a bunch of other bands, because at the time Jaeger was working at Steve's Music, and everyone who worked there had a band. So just a bunch of like Steve's Music related bands came and played that one big, I think it was a New Year's party. And so there's a lot of people from Toronto music who just happened to be here during that sort of like housewarming blowout. Was it Halloween or New Year's? It might have been Halloween. And
Says I'll never forget the free beer show.
Wait, who said that? God, I need glasses to read that screen. Oh, fucking hell. The lens just popped out of my readers. I got some eyeglass repair to do in the coming winter. Oh, only the forest. At that party, M. Cuthbert had been attending, and they, I think, briefly had like a 2-minute conversation, and he's like, any chance we could like book your space to do a show from like maybe a touring band, a screamo band from the States. I'm like, that sounds pretty cool. Get back to me. They contacted me on Facebook. They actually did book a gig here that was a screamo band from Florida or something. I can't remember who it was now. And then it ended up being canceled, I think. I don't know if the whole gig got canceled or just the headliner from Florida had to cancel. But that started, like, M. Cuthbert was the first person to book a show here outside of our usual party. So we had this tradition that started like 2006-07, where we did a Halloween show, a New Year's show, and my birthday. Those are the 3 gigs that I organize every year regardless, right? Those are the parties I wanted to do. And then outside of those 3 events, other people would book those gigs more or less. Promoters would contact me, bands would contact me. And of course we had neighbors. This place couldn't be a venue full time. And the rest of the time it was an apartment, right? Like you guys want to do a walk and talk? Not sure how much of the space everyone's seen over time. So I think a lot of you are going to be roughly familiar with the stairwell. Coming into soy bomb. I forgot, I gotta make sure I take that mason in home. Come up the stairs, full of garbage right now. Come into the space. And sometimes there's a space part that would be open, sometimes it wouldn't. There's 2 different occasions on the history of soy bomb where we actually had a friend living in this space. Come in. There's the laundry room, which eventually became also the sound room and then became dubbed the soundromat. A lot of gear to get out of here. The ramp. The bat room, which everything's a mess. Like roommates left so much stuff. Like, oh, I don't know what's going on here.
Says I'll never forget the treacherous ladder up to the rooftop hop.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the draws to the space, right? This smoking area where you wouldn't have to leave the venue, go on the roof, see the CN Tower, hang out and drink and smoke, and like there's people who
it says 2 up, 2 down, Lolo.
Yeah. There would be people who paid a cover and never saw a single band because they were just on the roof all night, just drinking, smoking, and talking. You know what I mean? Like the roof became its own thing. It's so fucking weird. This is the modular space. These tables were built to be broken down and moved out of the way if needed. They often got used together as merch tables at one point, forming an L in the space. This was open for a long time, and then this got walled off to make my own room after I moved out. Well, let's do the quick history. So, year one, the skeleton of this room sort of already existed. I'm going to switch to the wide angle lens here. It's going to be a bit more grainy, but you'll be able to see more. This room wasn't in this condition at the time. It was smaller and not as developed, but there's a wall here that got knocked out further to allow a closet space and whatever, but this area was mostly built. So this room was built, and then we built a room there. We had to make it so that in order to have 2 rooms at the back, but a wall between them, we had to make this weird little L to allow 2 doorways. There's no light in this room right now. This is the this is the biggest of the 3 bedrooms with crazy amounts of windows. You guys won't be able to see much. That old refrigerator, which I definitely want to take home, belonged to Corrado the barber, who had owned the 2 buildings next door that burned down. That was his first refrigerator he bought when he moved to Canada in the 50s or 60s. And it still works. Just needs a clean up. Anyways, all the rooms evolved over time, got nicer. I always constantly did more and more work trying to make the space nicer. Again, the end goal being this space couldn't exist without roommates. So I wanted to make this place as nice for roommates as possible. You know what I mean? This was my private personal storage room, even after I had moved out of Soy Bomb. It used to be a tool room, and then it just became a storage room. It became a place to stash stuff that we used during parties. My skate gear, my nunchuck collection, my comic book collection, which I have quite a few of, and some other random ephemera, which I really have to go through tonight. This was built as my bedroom. It was built with the walls being largely soundproof because this was meant to be a, what do you call it? A sound, this is going to be a sound room for recording was the idea, as well as being my bedroom. So it's just why it's heavily built in and designed, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Had to add this extra wall at one point because of the fire marshal, no biggie.
Champion says nunchuck collection, ha ha ha.
I wonder if I could still do some nunchucks. You guys want to see me practice? God, I haven't played with nunchucks in years. I don't even know if I could hang on to them. When Suzanne moved into her apartment, I moved out of that room. That became available to rent to a roommate. I walled off this section here. This had just sort of been an open office area for me, but I walled it off to be basically my new bedroom, but mainly just where I kept all my stuff because I was basically at Suzanne's every night, a couple blocks away. And then eventually Suzanne bought a house and made me move in with her and made me move out of Soy Bomb. So this room became sort of available to rent. Paul was the first roommate who moved in here. And Paul lived here for 7 years after that. And of course, the glorious kitchen, which is I don't know, 4 people were living here and moved out, and none of them seems to have taken any kitchen stuff. So I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I'm gonna have to throw everything on the curb tomorrow, I guess, which is wild. All my beautiful concrete work is all going to end up in a fucking landfill. It sucks. I spent a long time doing this beautiful fucking like kitchen. And it's just all for naught. I really should be taking my light. You guys
Champion says the iconic soy bomb kitchen.
Yeah.
With way too many leftover kitchen items, ha ha ha.
Yeah, it's crazy. So anywho, did I show the bathroom? Look at that fucking sink, man. I made this out of concrete. You have no idea how hard it was getting it in here after I formed it. I just love putting the name Soy Bomb on stuff, but eventually Soy Bomb was just like literally like on everything in here. It kind of got to the point of embarrassment. There's no way. I don't think I can handle nunchucks anymore.
Champion says this sink impressed me immensely.
The bathroom sink or the kitchen sink? All right, for old time's sake. Okay, how did I do this? Was this it?
Champion says bathroom. Smalltalk Champion says don't hit yourself in the balls.
No promises. Okay, mainly still. I didn't drop them once there. It's a bit sloppy, but apparently I can still use nunchucks.
Champion says not bad.
What was the thing we used to do? We used to do this thing where that way of like spinning them around your hands. Me and a buddy developed that up north by just doing this with them. Just like going, spinning around the hand. And then that evolved into this. In terms of using nunchucks as a weapon, doing that spinning around the hands bullshit is absolutely useless. But it's good training for dexterity and like control of the weapon. These aren't wood ones. These are foam, plastic core form.
Champion says Michelangelo would be proud.
But it looks really impressive when we do that shit. But using nunchucks, this is it. That's it. That's basically like all the moves. Just like controlling it so you don't hit yourself. Because I've knocked myself out with nunchucks before, like real ones, practicing. When you whack yourself in the head with hardwood, whew, does a number. But anywho, these ones are foam. These are foam outside of a plastic core. I think I'm gonna keep them. I think I'm gonna keep the nunchucks. It's a good thing to. I have this like cascade list of things I need to do. One is.
Champion says I'm very familiar with hardwood knocking into my head.
So I got to finish getting everything out of the soy bomb. Once that's done, I have to like organize my shop, get that shit put away, get that old project stored, and make the shop usable. So I have projects, upcoming like professional projects I have to do. I also need the shop organized so that I can do some photography of a bunch of things I want to sell or give away on Facebook. A lot of stuff that's here. And then I also have to finish organizing my office space, which I got partially done during the precursor to this, but it's still sort of half a mess. It's half spread out on our whole second floor sort of apartment right now. So that has to be sorted. And when that's done, when the office is done and I get caught up on all my chores, I want to stream like just on the gaming channel, not this channel, but on the regular like Twitch stuff I do. I want to like stream on Twitch. I got this like small mini treadmill. I just want to like try and do some streaming on a treadmill. And if I got the nunchucks too, like I can like, it's just, I'm almost 53 years old. I need to keep maintaining a physicality in my life so I keep the ticker in good health. So nunchucks and treadmills seems to be a thing. Anyways, back to here. This is all Bondo. The ramp, which is a 2x4 skeleton in between like plywood templates, and then half-inch, this is 2 layers of half-inch plywood sitting on top of that, and it's screwed along. You can see where it meets the 2x4 underneath. And for whatever reason, this spot here kinked and sat weird. I think it's because the floor is uneven. Like there's a hump. I don't know if you can see above, but there's these big I-beams every 18 feet throughout the place that span the length of the building, and the floor joists run into them. And so and the floor is like 80 years old or something, and it's slumped. So in between these I-beams every 18 feet, the flooring has a slump. So we built these to be straight, but technically there's a little slight gap between the point of contact here and back there. And so things depressed, and it caused a weird scenario where the plywood cracked even after 2 layers. And so I used Bondo to fill it and finish the transition. You know what? It worked really fucking good. So there's a note for anyone messing with, not even a good Bondo job, but it just had to be filler because the finished surface went over it. Anyways, there's the ramp. There's the ramp material. That is now clear of the finished surface. I mean, there's
Multo Champion says nunchucks on a treadmill. I smell a new content trend incoming.
I'm just trying to stay fit, man. Anywho, so I got to keep my workflow going, but I'm also open to asking any Q&As. I still want to continue about some of my favorite shows that happened here over the years, though, too. Like I barely scratched the surface of that. There is masonite, painted masonite on the decking, on the tops of the ramp. I don't know if I'm going to try and reclaim that or not, because it is part of the ramp that could be used for book covers, but I mean, there's a limit, right? Okay, so it's weird seeing soy bomb in this like dismantling. This lens does far better with lower light. So I'm just going to move all the ramp surface and put it up against the wall here. I need all this ready to go, so I think I should have hired movers tomorrow, and now I don't know if I can get someone or not. I might have to see like last second if anyone's available on like TaskRabbit or something. Because I do have a lot to move. And while it is only a block away, there isn't enough time in the day to make all these trips. I have movers to help me load into a truck, drive it over there, unload. I could do a couple loads and get everything out. Ugh. There's so much like, yeah, we have our little truck, but if it's just Suzanne and I in the little truck, if it's just Suzanne and I in the little truck, I don't think we would, I don't think we could do it. I've done a lot of work to clear a space at my place to put a lot of this stuff, but it's still like stretch, you know? I need to know what, I don't know if there's like, there's so much stuff here that's left by the roomies. I don't know if any of them are keeping any of it. Because if not, I would just like to move it all to the front. So that tomorrow everything can be like rushed out onto the street for a curb alert so people can pick through it, you know? So, here's one ramp surface. Need to pull off this old, so when I did a revamp of the ramp surface of 2012 maybe, which is like better quality 1/4-inch masonite. The original ramp surface was this 1/8 masonite. I think we got from free, actually, from a job site. It had been used to protect the floor, then was being tossed out. That's the original ramp surface there. So I kind of want to reclaim that too. Maybe I'll use that for the backdrop of my shop somehow. It's a big piece. It would take too much wall real estate in any home scenario, but definitely want to save it. I think that's all crown staple narrow.
I've got to take the odd surface too, if possible.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Okay, so I want to, I mean, they're only about 20 bucks a sheet, but if I preserve as much of this OSB as possible, that can actually be the walls for a chunk of my shop that I'm going to try and get going this winter. So I need to take that stuff apart. But before I get into that, I think what I have to do is I have to go through, so all this storage stuff up here. See, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff I'm going to be doing that I think is not going to be for compelling stream content. What is this? The fuck is this? Someone's outfit? That's so weird. That's really weird. It's like some clothes and like, it's really bizarre. Nail files? Emery boards?
Says there's so much stuff left over, dude.
Yeah, but not all of it's coming with, right? Like I think I saved these pieces of masonite in case they would come in handy. Offcuts and resurfacing the ramp. I don't need them. I don't want them. They can go to the side. So I have to go through all this shit. There's so much random shit that isn't even mine. I don't know why it's here. I mean, the roomies had their own little parties here and there over the years, so. Fuck, I forgot about my automatic cat feeder, which has to clean up. This thing cost me like $100 and change. I don't use it and don't need it anymore. I don't have the kitties. But I could clean it up and probably sell it really cheap on Facebook Marketplace. Someone can have a really good little auto cat feeder. And I can have peace of mind that it's not more expensive plastic in a fucking landfill. All right, I need another. It's been like 2 weeks. I still got a good cough. I'm pretty sure I got some COVID. Is what happened. Where's my tea? But I need to go through all this stuff on the shelves, which a lot is honestly just garbage. But I need to go through it all. And once it's all sorted, these shelves become available to help sort stuff in the next 24 hours. Like stuff that's going on the curb that we're getting in, moving from other spots. It can maybe come.
Says my money is it being some sort of COVID or virus from a show?
Yeah. Well, definitely a virus, but I think it was COVID. Just because of how it ended up being very lung-based, almost like pneumonia. Yum, yum. All right. So what do we have here? This is definitely not going to make for compelling content. So I'm trying to like really enthuse. What the hell is this? This is like a Bunch of random empty jewel cases. That's funny. Anyone need jewel cases? They're going on the curb tomorrow. This boombox, it works. I don't want it. I don't need it. A double cassette CD playing boombox with inputs and outputs. Like if I had all the time in the world, I might try and clean that up and like sell it on Facebook Marketplace for 10 bucks. It works. Not in mint condition, but it fucking works. Like it has some value, some intrinsic value. But there's just no time. There's just no fucking time. So it's gotta go to the curb. All right. Is this my shit? Like I feel like the blank CD DVDs might be mine. But none of these other things are, I'm certain. Or they might be. Probably got more things than I fucking... What the fuck is this? That is wild. It's a tip ring sleeve 1/8" jack to, oh, it's probably for headphones, fancy headphones. I'm gonna hold on to that cable. I think I have use for that. All right, I'm gonna be here all goddamn night. I certainly don't think it's useful to stream all of it. But again, I'm only streaming in the interest of doing a Q&A. Anyone who may be curious about soy bomb things, because now is the time to talk about it. Earlier I was asked about favorite shows. Interestingly enough, some of the earlier bands that played at Soy Bomb when we started becoming sort of a regular sort of venue were some of my favorite bands. Aykroyd, to this day, I love them as one of the most interesting, fun bands that I've ever seen play. Just quick little angular, wild post-hardcore ditties that were based on weird, like, sci-fi ideas. Like, I don't know. Those guys are so fucking cool. And such smartly written content. Why has someone left a trench coat here? Someone just have just straight up trash that's in here. Interesting. Aykroyd.
123,431 says today is my birthday.
That's nice. I hope you're having a good birthday. Weird name. What numbers? Are you there, small talk?
Champion says I am hot, hot, hot.
All right, thank you. Happy hardcore birthday there, young feller. So, yeah, so, I mean, my birthday gig, which was the first...
Champion says standing by, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, you never know. My birthday gig in 2008 or 7 or 6, might be 2006, 7 or 8, was the first gig we did here at Soy Bomb where we charged a door cover of $5. And that roster for that night was J-Back, Japanese Beavers Are Canadian, which is a band that actually existed out of Bracebridge, Ontario. They weren't even a Toronto base, but I knew those guys from back in the day. And they did some really weird, angular, like, post-hardcore sort of noise stuff. Then there was Aykroyd, who I loved. Villepend, who channeled so many cool aspects of post-hardcore, you know, that, like, like Billipen was a perfect storm for me in a lot of ways. Angular, steep learning curve, not so easy to get into right away, but eventually all the weird like sideways grooves like really hits you because you realize, oh fuck, that's actually fucking crazy cool. And then Titan. In fact, the only reason we charged a cover was because of Titan, because we didn't really know them that well personally yet, and they were a kind of a bigger band. They weren't going to do it for free. But they ended up being so fucking cool. Like, not just like they were fucking amazing as a band, but they were just so cool as people. Like, to this day, Chris Woodford, I'll always consider one of my better friends from like Toronto scene. Like, Woodford is just fucking amazing. Woodford, the guitar player, principal organizer of Titan, previously the band I Spoke. Since Titan, has been a handful of little projects. He runs a record label, predominantly like indie DIY metal music called Hypertherial Records. Highly recommend checking out the roster. Go to the Bandcamp, Hypertherial Records.
H09172 says hi.
Hello. That's got to be AI, right? It's got to be AI. Oh my God, some of the shit I got here that I forgot.
Champion says still standing by haha.
Yeah. Thank you. Titan became almost a house band at one point for Soy Bomb. Either me asking them if they would play or them asking if they could do a show here. There's lots of bands that came through Soy Bomb that like guys from Titan had organized a show because they knew so many good artists from around the world from being so prolific and like.
09172 says today is also my birthday.
So today's your birthday and today is also your birthday? Holy hot damn, that's wild. 2 birthdays in one day. You're one special little guy. I can't tell if it's like just a kid looking for attention.
Says turning into a birthday stream.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's a kid looking for attention or if it's an AI modeling itself on a kid looking for attention.
123,431 says 2 special guys.
2 special guys. Wait, is it 2 different accounts, Small Talk?
Champion says yup, 2.
Okay. When were the accounts made? Today?
Champion says 1 is today and 1 is in November.
Well, that's weird. So like a month ago. Anywho, I'm sure no good can come of it.
123,431 says here's how to say 2 in Spanish. It's dos.
Dos? Listen, little guys, I'm happy that you're here and wanting to participate. Hopefully not trolling, but it's the obvious suspicion. But we are having a conversation about this space I'm currently dismantling. So if you're just here to say random stuff and derail the conversation and look for attention, we're not interested. I'm sorry, but it's just like, it's not something that has any utility here on these brand new accounts. It obviously exists just for trolling. So, Small Talk, if they say any off-topic weird randomness, maybe give them a timeout for a week. Give them a week timeout. Don't just have to ban them. They could be sincere and just not know what they're doing. Although I doubt it. I like to give the benefit of the doubt, but look, just the fact.
Champion says sure.
The fact that I have to have this conversation is a testament to how effective that like the derailing and centering the conversation to them is, and how it's endemic of a weird narcissistic disorder, There are some occasions where I'll humor this stuff for the sake of content. It can be fun. I like to take troll accounts and give them enough rope. Oh, my folding chair. But I don't think today is the day for that. I'm not sure if we can hear that clanking in the background, but that's the boxing gym fitness stuff downstairs. And they are working the heavy bag. And this is the other blow-up chair, isn't it? Okay. Good to have. The fuck is this? So much random things that aren't mine. So anyways, back to gigs. Back to party gigs. So that first birthday party, J-Back, Ackroyd, Villapen, Titan. I wanted to try and recreate that. I wanted to do a 20th anniversary show for a birthday party, which would have been last year actually. And I wanted to get that lineup back together, which had actual potential. But my life had just, my life in Soybon had taken kind of enough of a turn that it was too unrealistic to try and assemble. But yeah, to recreate one of the best, most formative gigs of the space for an anniversary would have been so amazing. God damn. On top of that, we were going to top it up. I was going to add the Good Enough Live Karaoke Band, and they were going to learn a bunch of Slayer covers. And we were going to have live Slayer karaoke, which would have been so fucking awesome. Again, you can shoot for the stars. If I didn't have so many other things going on in my life, I 100% would have organized that. It would have been glorious. But just too much shit going on in my life.
Champion says that last-minute gel thing was such an awesome surprise.
Yeah, it was fun. The live feed, I didn't realize at the time, gave out partway. Wait, there's someone's merch here. Whose merch is this? The Brain? The Brain, Too Much to Dream, First Steps. There's some 7 inches, cassettes, and t-shirts for a band called The Brain. Slurry? What? Someone's got merch stashed back there. I have no idea who it even is. The Brain sounds familiar. I feel like this might have been a band that played at Soy Bomb back in the day, and the merch was just left here as from a touring band or something. I don't even know. Okay. Old separated gray paint. I'm definitely not keeping all the old Soy Bomb paints, but I'd saved every single paint I'd ever used in Soy Bomb in case we had to do touch-ups.
Champion says Slurry as an album title for a band called The Brain is pretty clever. Ha ha ha.
Is it the album title? Because Slurry is actually the lone word on the t-shirt. It almost seems like 2 sets of merch, but it could be, I don't know, could be an album title.
Champion says no idea.
Brain Slurry. Huh. What am I looking for here? Oh yeah. I took these empty bins out, but I could actually use these to put together all these electrical parts, which I definitely need. I forgot how much stuff I fucking left here, man. Fucking hell. What the hell? Is this got... Oh, that clunking is probably the blue stuff all hardened up. Blue stuff is a polymeric membrane that's like a pudding that you trowel or paint on a surface, and it hardens into a rubbery substance. Oh yeah, that just hardened into a chunk. It's traditionally used as a foundation coating. I've found many other uses for it over the years, but I'm not keeping it. Okay.
Champion says, how hard is it? Go into detail.
This is not my stuff. I think these are old things that might have belonged to, Yeah, I think all except it belonged to Tim's dad, maybe. Old shoes. So until the last couple of years of my life where I realized that you can get nice footwear with good soles that actually make walking a dream. I only wore skate sneakers for the bulk of my adult life. And, hindsight being 2020, I wish I hadn't have done that, but I was a skater, so whatever. And my shoes always had a 3-stop life cycle. They would first be like nice sneakers for going out and about. And when they got scuffed up enough, they became skateboard shoes. And then when they got eventually fucked up enough from skateboarding, as happens, they became work shoes. And then when they became unwearable as work shoes, they either became work slippers for around the house or the trash. Here's some such pair, an old pair of DVS's. I actually don't look to be in that bad a shape, but I don't fucking need them. And again, my...
Champion says, yep, the transition from skate shoes to other sneakers for walking is actually life-changing, ha ha ha.
Yeah. Going out shoes, skate shoes, work shoes. I work construction and renovation, so you always need a pair of shoes you don't mind getting all fucked up. And then later, if there's still some wearability when you can't really wear them on a job site, I could wear them at home as a comfortable shoe to wear while doing work projects at home, right? Don't care if they get dirty, and I don't care about them being all ripped up and falling off, right? These are a usable condition pair of shoes, but I ain't wearing them. My days, as I've learned about orthopedic arch support, which has changed my life, my day of wearing flat-soled skate sneakers is behind me. I don't think this tent is mine. We have a whole shit ton of umbrellas here, so many fucking umbrellas. It is bizarre. No one took any with them. I don't know. There's so much stuff left here. I don't know if people have forgotten stuff or if there was just so much stuff abandoned here over the years by random people that no one claimed ownership of anything and everyone thought it belonged to someone else, but it actually belonged to no one. Got a crap load of umbrellas. Put them out tomorrow.
Champion says, I'm sure a lot of that stuff is just forgotten over the years.
Yeah, but I think people who lived here always thought it was someone else's, so nobody fucked with it. So it
Champion says, especially in this space.
Yeah. Yeah, because, there's a rotating cast of people who lived here over the years. And if someone doesn't take something and no one knows who something is, everyone just assumes that someone else is in the space and ignores it, right? So I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna leave it up front because there's a coat and a scarf. I could actually put on these hangers and then hang out front tomorrow for people to grab. I'm gonna try and do as much curb alert stuff tomorrow as possible. All right, where's my tea? So, we were talking about gigs. That first gig being a big one, an important one. Love those bands. All those bands played multiple times at Soy Bomb from then onwards not because they were just friends that were able to play, it's because they were bands I looked forward to seeing in the space because they just were fucking awesome. Other big notable shows. A Toronto band that maybe only existed for 2-3 years. Brendan Rain Howlett, the band he was in. Fuck, I can't think right now. Electronic drum player, the guy from Adonis, I think. And then Mark, the vocalist, and the rest of them. Oh, almost had it. It's been over a decade. God damn. One of the most...
says Thighs.
Thank you, Thighs. Probably one of the best noise rock bands to ever exist, ever. Just hands down. Ever to exist, ever. Unbelievably amazing. And
Champion says so good.
And once I saw them play, so the reason why I bring them up is, so Doomsday Student played here. And for those who are unaware, Doomsday Student is essentially Arab on Radar with one guy from the original band that they can't stand in the band Doomsday Student. And Arab on Radar, I would never go out on a limb and say Arab on Radar is one of my most favorite bands ever, but it's one of those bands I listen to incessantly. As being part of that neat, angular, weird, outside approach to like making noise punk, right? And they were label mates on like Skin Graft with another like roster of amazing, crazy bands. And so Doomsday Student played here, absolutely unbelievable. And Thighs, I think their first show, like they had already existed. They hadn't played. I don't think they'd played a gig yet, but they got it together for a gig to be able to play that fucking show. And they blew my mind. They blew me away. I couldn't fucking believe it. Mark is such an amazing frontman. Like, what a performer. Like, just outside the box, like jaw-dropping, holy shit. And musically, like, they perfect that idea of like harping on a groove, you know, to make something uncomfortable comfortable, but then emphasizing the uncomfortable. Like, it's fucking, like, Thighs were absolutely brilliant at what they did. Like, brilliant, the best. Hey, here's the bag for my Audio Pro. Hey, yo. So Thighs, I ended up getting...
Vivian says everyone in that band was so tight.
Yeah.
The wall of amps and drum tech was such a great visual, too.
In the wall, like, I like how they, like, I swear they picked their speakers based on how it would Tetris together. But it was all, like, weird, you know, secondhand, old speakers, none of which were really amazing. But again, not the point, right? The fuck, is that a shoe? What the fuck is that? Don't know if I'm gonna keep that. What is this? Is this my shit? Domain registry. Oh my god, it's old fucking mail for old roommates. How long have this been sitting here? Good god. I don't know if that's something I'm gonna... So much crap and shit. So yeah, Thighs blew my mind, and so I got them to play here as often as I could get them, and was never disappointed. But you know, life makes. Is that actually a Seiko machine? Oh god, all this old helmets and skate gear. Oh wait, that isn't a... It's a blender and a sketchbook. Whose is this? Wait. I'm starting to think that... Maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, Thighs. Always amazing. What are other gigs that happen here that I really liked? And there's so many.
What says Facebook? Kimberly Ann, thanks for everything you did.
Hey, Kim. Good to see you. Kim, geez, Kim, I forget what was the name of your act? You performed here many a times. My Life as a Woman? Was that what it was? My Life as a Woman? It's been so long. I think it's been a decade. Kimberly played here a bunch. Oh, some of the old signs. We used to have a projector set up basically for our living room. But we wouldn't want to unhook it all, so we'd leave it set up for during a party. But we had to have a sign to protect it. Any touching of the projector is a bad touch, and a bad touch will get you ejected from the premises.
Kimberly Ann, this is me as a woman.
Yeah. And if you're enough of a douchebag, life as well. Life ejected. Think about it. Management. So many goofy signs. totally forgot about the extra goofy signs. I'm not keeping them. Maybe I put them on the curb and someone will want them tomorrow. Curb alert.
Champion says you gotta save all those signs.
I can't.
They're iconic for me too.
I can't, it's just, there's nowhere to put everything. I have to make some serious decisions tonight about what's going and what's going on the curb, right? I mean,
Champion says, or at least take pictures of them.
I will be putting them on the curb. I'll be taking pictures and then posting this, Facebook curb alert. Past this point, lost and found, and or free shit, take it, we don't give a fuck. That was downstairs, I think. Cool people smoke on the roof. Cool people don't smoke. What? Oh, someone added that. Douchebags smoke anywhere they feel like, and then get punched in the face. Yay. Some people took issue with these signs because they thought it was too unnecessarily violent and aggressive. And it's like, if you don't get why signs like this need to be this way, then you just don't get running a fucking show. One of the crazy secrets to success of Soy Bomb is that at any given gig, and some of the biggest gigs we ever fucking did were just being run by Suzanne and I. Suzanne was looking after the kitchen, and I was looking after the sound and everything else. This place was designed over time, like I said, to have that flow chart of dealing with shit and to be kind of run on automatic during a party. Now, 99% of the time, it's a community that is well immersed in, and it's self-policing. I never have to worry about too much crazy shit happening. I always know that a friend will deal with it, right? Because it's always sort of friends. That's why one of the things about Soy Bomb is it always felt like a house party. It was all friends and friends of friends, Oh, rat's nest of cables that I think are sketchy. And I plan to fix these, but I don't know if I am. Fuck. Repair or toss. That might end up being tossed. I just don't have, I have now.
Says I always felt the rhetoric and tone of those signs were perfect for the space.
Well, that's
especially considering how many people came to the shows.
Well, that's just it. So in order, and we learned this at the very beginning, is we would often get people that weren't part of the community, weren't part of the group of the large overlapping groups of friends. It would be just maybe a rando who's not understanding, right? And so you police the space with tone. You put up these signs that are warnings about what you can or can't do in such a menacing, threatening demeanor that someone who might be enough of an asshole to do something stupid sees that and goes, fuck, that's pretty fucking bold. It's everywhere. They must be ready to back this shit up. I'm not going to step outside the obvious boundaries. And it fucking worked. We had so few, we had couple hundred at least shows here over the course of a decade with, for the most part, just Suzanne and I running shit and only having 2 or 3 incidences at all in that time. And each of these gigs attended by 100 to 400 people. To never have had an issue during all that time is a testament to how good the signs worked. They just fucking worked. They made anyone who might otherwise act out in a stupid manner think twice about acting out, because they're this place got a vibe. If I fuck up, there might be some serious repercussions. And so it worked, man. We had Soy Bomb for its tenure largely was enforced by an invisible fucking security man. An invisible security kept people in place in Soy Bomb for years and years and years. The hell is all this crazy shit? And those signs were a massive part of that.
Champion says the Soy Bomb signs are the reason why I always suggest or even create DIY signs, even for things that just involve friends, ha ha ha.
I mean, and again, for the people who know, it's also kind of a tongue-in-cheek, goofiness too, it's like people who know me know that that's not, that's not my vibe, I'm words first, fifth second, right? Maybe even third. I don't know what second to be after words, but words first, fifth second. But another thing too is, for better or worse, I'm also, at least I was, incredibly adept at violence. I was always really good at violence. And I think that's part of the nature of why it was so easy for me to write signage like that, because it kind of was written from a point of view of me being like, don't fuck with my shit. I got a lot of shit going on here. Don't fuck with my shit, because I will do this, I guess in some ways, like, oh, wow. Old fucking cassettes. God damn it. I have a massive cassette collection in the back I forgot about. I got to move. These cassettes, I believe, were Suzanne's that she dumped a long time ago, but I want to keep some of these. Got the Daydream Nation and Sebadoh. And a bunch of mediocre stuff. Oh, a bunch of Airstrip. I don't know. You might actually hold on to this. Hold on to it, part it out later. Probably only like a half dozen I want to keep. But the rest I can actually put up, on Facebook for friends to grab. They don't want some oddball 90s alternative cassettes. I don't want them.
Champion says original tapes.
Yeah, man.
There would be a lot of collector's items in there.
Could be. They weren't like tiny, rare DIY bands. What is this? So many random things and stuffs. Old fire extinguishers. There's fire extinguishers in here with fucking skateboard stickers on them. This is the expensive faucet I installed in the kitchen, which I should probably potentially try and reclaim. Don't know if I would need it again or not, but it's a shame to toss it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's practically brand new. Okay. Speaker stands for my PA, which I never really use because we flew the PA. It sounded better that way. You know what? I'll probably end up selling these. There was a brief time when Soy Bomb stopped doing, we had put the moratorium on shows because of the trolling, that I had all this PA gear. And I'd done like sound teching outside of Soy Bomb at various events and shit. And I was like, you know what? I have a PA and a full PA. Maybe I should start like pimping myself out as like a on the road sound dude. But, while that's something I like doing, I already got a career as like a carpenter, trying to like market myself as some other kind of business. Didn't make a whole lot of sense in the long run. So I just never ended up. I mean, like, I there are people that got me to sound tech here and there for the odd gig or two, but.
Champion says doing carpentry construction during the day and then audio at night would be fucking exhausting.
Yeah, I mean, I did something like that a couple times. I also like did what the fuck is that? Cool gas mask, not mine. I don't think. But yeah. I I mean, sound teching gigs would have been sort of a reason to justify holding on to a lot of the gear that I did. And also the idea, there was an idea for a while there too that I would like possibly do an actual venue at one point. I looked into it and it was a serious consideration for a little bit. But the more I looked into it and the more I realized, you know, again, I have a career.
What says Facebook? Kimberly Ann, is there going to be a soy bomb too?
No, not for me anyways. That chapter of my life is definitely closed. I have no interest in it. We had our big closeout show a couple weeks ago. It was glorious, the best possible way to go out. And as much as I loved it, there's also a reminder of how much work it is to do.
Says that's what his house is called now.
There's so much work involved, and I already have so much work on my plate. It's just like I don't have that capacity. Like I'm trying to like minimize my the. Oh God, this thing's heavy. This is an old gramophone. I'm trying to minimize the complexities in my life, you know, pare things down. God damn, this has some fucking heft. I mean, anyone who wanted to start something like Soy Bomb, I would give infinite amount.
Champion says soy, pardon the interruption, but mod pants cause I gotta bail soon. Also, hello pants.
Oh, gotcha.
Says do you have to take out the shelves as well?
I mean, that's a skeleton bit of shelving that was thrown up. I don't have to take it out. It could.
Ivan says, hey, small talk.
It could benefit me to repurpose them at the house for storing things, but I don't know if I'll have that time or not. Once I get everything off them, like they're 8 feet by 8 feet, I wouldn't even be able to get these out the door. I'd have to completely dismantle and rebuild. I don't know if I'll have the time. It was put together with the cheapest shit possible. Each of these, like this whole shelving unit here, probably cost me like $50 in material max. I mean, I definitely could use the material. I don't have time to deal with it. That is the issue. Oh yeah, I got to mod pants. Hello pants, you're just in time. Let's get you modded. Pants. 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 Are you already modded, Pants? Pants. Are you already modded, Pants? Pants. Are you already modded, Pants? No, he's not. Are you already modded, Pants? No, he's not.
Says don't think so.
No, you're not. But I'm not seeing the option when I click on your name. Block, report, whisper, follow, mention, shout out. That's weird. Oh, here we go. If I hold it down, timeout ban. No, it's not. It's not giving me the option to mod you. What the fuck? It's pretty straightforward to do it for Trip and Small Talk. What the fuck? Yo, that's weird. User actions? Is that something? Why do I not have the option to mod you? That's weird. I'm wondering if it's like a, hold on. Let me turn the screen sideways for a second.
Auto Champion says do it in chat with /mod cap tap ipens. Cap tap ipens says can type it /mod cap tap ipens.
Okay, hold on, working on it. All right. /mod capped underscore happy pantsy. I almost typed it out, pantsy. Happy pants. All right, did that work? Are you modded now?
Ipens says look at us being all mod scum-like.
Did that work? Are you a mod now? Oh, I think the chat disconnected.
Ipens says no.
What?
Ipens says no.
What?
Ipens says no.
What?
Ipens says no.
What?
Ipens says no.
Wait, let's see if I'm logged in the account. Oh, it's not even letting me type in the thing. What? It's not letting me type in the chat. Oh my God, it's so broken. Oh wait, hold on. I'm going to close the Twitch app and restart it. The Twitch app is so broken. I don't understand how like the biggest live streaming platform continually breaks their fucking oh, fuck off. Okay, all right. Where's my okay, creator dashboard? That's something. Stream manager? Does that give me a lot of suspicious accounts followed today? All right, does that allow me to do anything? What the fuck? All right, that worked.
It says poop.
Okay, so I can type now. Mod. Oops, what the fuck? Okay. That should have worked, Happy. That must have worked.
Ipens says done.
All right,
Champion
nice.
says great success.
Great success. All right.
Cap tap Ipens says watch out everyone.
Okay, I need to check one thing really quickly here.
Champion says I'm out. Later peoples. Horse crisis for life.
Horse crisis
Soy bomb
for life.
say. Cap tap Ipens says night small talk.
All right, small talk. Good to see you. Glad you showed up for one of the last ever appearances at the space. I don't know who's left to talk about the space at this point. Small talk was one of the few people who had been here and done stuff here. When Small Talk lived in Toronto, they were part of a younger volunteer collective organizing with Wavelength and were doing series of shows. And one or two shows from that particular era got booked here at Soy Bomb, and that's how I met them, in their compadres. shit. This is all fucking heartbreakingly brutal shit. God damn it. Suzanne and I have so much. When we thought we were going to be parents, we put a lot of money and time to all the things needed for young parents, and never came to be. And we still have all these things. It's kind of wild. Have to go through that, and well, we'll see. Anywho.
Champion says, yep. The first ever show I organized in Toronto with friends was in Soy Bomb.
Oh, that's pretty wild.
Great memory.
Yeah.
I'm out. Later, people.
All right.
Horse crisis for life.
Horse crisis
Soy
for
Bomb
life.
Adios.
Adios. I think I have the key for that somewhere.
Ivan says you got a storage unit for this shit or just going directly home.
Kind of made a storage space at the house for all of it. A lot of it I'm not even like keeping long term. It's just stuff I don't want to see on the curb. And then some will go into like some deep storage at the house. That'll be really annoying because I'll have to get all shuffled around while I'm working on the house. I really wish I'd gotten that shit done sooner. Okay, look at this. An old toolbox that I used to use back in the day. And then I painted up. And I called it, and I gave it to Mrs. Soy. At one point it was fresh and new. And called it Squirrel Bomb instead of Soy Bomb. So she had her own little toolkit. One of those things, I don't need it, I don't want it. It'll probably go on the curb. Maybe someone else will want it, I don't know.
Ivan says custom lunchbox for the big kid at school, LOL.
That's right. These are a bunch of old 78s for the hand crank gramophone I got. I'll say this, thankfully, so far, there is not too much stuff in the storage area so far that I'm keeping. Thank fuck. Although I know that most of the stuff up here is mine that I'm keeping.
Says as everyone else left the building.
Yeah, everyone has moved out like November 30th. Fucking hell, man. Being sick sucks.
Ivan says nobody helping you.
I mean, what I'm doing now is going through a bunch of my old stuff and separating it. No one could help me with this. This is stuff I have to do myself. I need to go through and say, okay, I'm keeping this. I'm keeping this for now till I can get rid of it. And this goes on the curb, right? I have to separate and sort. I was sick for the better part of the last 2 weeks. So I had a window to do all this stuff, but I got brutally sick, like really, really sick. So I couldn't do it. So now I'm like rushing to get stuff done. We were out of here November 30th. I'm only allowed, because this building's slated for demolition and no one is going to be using this space. Why I'm still able to deal with this posthumously, you know? Okay. More clothing things that aren't mine. Fuck, man.
Ivan says, so if it's going to be demoed, you can just leave the trash there.
Which essentially is what's happening. But some of the stuff that's trash could definitely have value to someone. So I think a lot of this stuff we're just going to be putting on the curb tomorrow. It just sucks because it's like, it's it's cold. It's supposed to be snowing tomorrow. It's a miserable time and a miserable way to put stuff out in the curb. It's going to get all fucked up pretty quick, and then no one's going to want it. But, you know, got a time limit. What can we fucking do? What is this? Is this primer? Oh, that's bird seed. Oh my God. That's been sitting in here for fucking years. Bird seed. So, when my landlord first sold the space to the first condo developing consortium, which I believe has reformed at least once, if not twice, since that initially happened. The young nerd or whatever dude who was like sort of the manager in charge of what was going to be happening on the corner, had friends who were doing a what do you call it, CNE style food pop-up with a CNE style food, like just stupid things like mustard ice cream and weird stupid shit like that, right? Stuff that's very Instagram friendly, but no long-term business model. They just keep changing out their novelties. But they were really dumb, horrible people. They were shitty in any way you can imagine a neighbor being, who has no interest in being a good neighbor or part of a community, and were only cared about things that facilitated them. And they were so shitty with us. I can't remember all the details. They threw out like a part of my truck that I used to like put the thing I built to put in my truck to carry things around. They threw it out. It wasn't even on their property. It was on the side of our building. They didn't ask. They didn't care. They just tossed it. And I was like, well, you guys got to reimburse me for that. My landlord, who was still involved at that point, was like, just take how much you ask for to replace your stuff. I said, I wasn't even like going to charge for my time. I was just charging for the material, which turned out to be undercutting what the material costs were. I said, $200. He's like, okay, take $200 off your next rent. Okay. Let's whatever. Those guys were such shitty fucking sociopaths for the next like year or two that they basically started a war. They were blasting shitty music. They made a point of putting their one loudspeaker right underneath our window. They were obstinate in every way, shape, and form. So I'm not going to say all the things that I engaged in counter insurgency acts, but one of the things I'm totally within my rights of doing is the ledge on the top of our roof regularly spread birdseed on it. So like birds were constantly flocking to eat the birdseed on top of our roof on the ledge. And of course we're like covering their open lot with like bird shit. Don't fuck with the soy. That's all I gotta say. There were other things that happened too, but I'm not going to say any of that stuff on a live stream. And it's not things that like, they even...
Hail pants.
What was that? What was that fucking TTS?
Says so you made your own fleet of soy bombers. Ivan says, hey Baz BB.
Baz. Yeah, there's no shushing on this TTS. That option isn't available. That's only for a home TTS. Mobile TTS doesn't have a shush thing yet. I wonder if I can directly mod Baz through the app. Wouldn't let me do Happy Pants. The app is so fucked.
Ivan says Baz is mod.
Oh, Baz is modded. I think I modded Baz way back when they first made this channel and they just never used it. Because I think Baz was helping me test some shit. Jesus. A couple of the custom shelves that I built for Paul. I think there's like 4 extra ones. That's crazy. They're still around.
Type in says BRB.
Burb. Can you guys still hear me right now? I'm like almost like probably 50 feet away from the camera. I'm curious if the microphones wirelessly transmit.
Says yes.
That's wild. I'm like 50 feet away. These things are, I can't believe the quality of these fucking like wireless mics. They sound good. They're a tiny little package. There's a little dongle that plugs into the phone at the bottom of the USB-C. It's like this long. It's like 2 sticks of gum. It's tiny. And this is I got a magnet.
That's what she said.
That's the magnet clip and then the actual microphone itself. It's unbelievable. Oh my God. Are these mine? I feel like this is shit that got left behind by Max. No. There's stuff in here I don't want to keep, but stuff in here I want to keep. I'm gonna have to like, maybe do a quick sort. Oh, a big old maybe. What is this? Why is there like a bag with full of old bike locks? That's fucking crazy. One of these is an expensive bike lock too. I'm pretty sure this is not mine. Weird old mixer. That was probably, this might be Tim's dad's. I'll find out if it's not. I might keep that. What's this? A backpack inside a big yellow bag. Weird. Very, very weird. I'm so glad most of this random stuff I'm coming across isn't stuff that's mine that I want to keep, because I got a thin regardless. Oh God, that's a bra. I'm wondering if some of this stuff might have been Michelle's that she never came and got. That's a friend of mine who lived here for a while, moved out, and then like passed away. The fuck is this? Shitty shit. Keep on trucking. I'm gonna make some fucking time here. What is this? Braun Aeromaster Compact. Look at this. What the fuck? There's a coffee machine that probably works fine, but is super fucking dirty. You put that on the curb, no one's gonna fucking touch it based on how it looks. But there's just no time to fucking like deal with this shit. This is a coffee grinder box. Is that actually what's in here? Oops. I think that might be the case, yeah. Big old coffee grinder. I don't know, that's something I might be able to reuse. Depends how good the quality of it is. I use a hand crank right now for my espresso, which I like. It's very nicely ground, have it dialed in perfectly. Okay. Oh, this is that Brain, that band, The Brain again. Where's that merch bag? Bag of Brain merch. Who the fuck was The Brain? Why is there so many fucking umbrellas here? It's insane. All right, anyways, like I said before, what I'm doing here is very uncompelling, uninteresting content in terms of like having to sort through like old shit I had sitting around Soy Bomb forever. So the reason why I'm streaming this, like I said, is an opportunity for Q&As. Anyone has any questions about Soy Bomb? Now is the time. Now is the time to ask questions about Soy Bomb. Earlier we were talking about some of my favorite shows at Soy Bomb. There are shows also that were quite notable and may not have sat perfectly in my preferred musical seat at the time that were still very notable shows for Soy Bomb. One such as Wolves in the Throne Room. You know, like a American, like, sort of, bunch of record thingy stuffs. That is definitely Tim's dad's.
That's what is Soy Bomb made of.
Wait, what was that? What's a soy bomb made out of? Poop. I mean, I know you're just goofing around, but the name Soy Bomb, which came about because it was originally the name of my fledgling skateboard company. Oh God. It came about. So when I was starting my fledgling skateboard company, I was a graphic design student at James Brown. Sorry, not James Brown, George Brown College here in the city. James Brown. It didn't feel good. And, ow.
It says James Brown.
And, and so anytime I was doing projects, for school, I would often use my own, skateboard company to mess around with ideas, whatever the projects might be focused on. And that culminated in me trying to do, if you look at like late 1800s, even some early 1900s, newspaper printing and how they usually do advertising with like largely based on typefaces and like weird line work. I was trying to work out stuff like that. I wanted it to look like it was an advertisement for old farm goods in your old local small town newspaper, circa 1880 or something, right? Like that's kind of what I was working with. And I was calling it Soy Brand. So I was trying to make it look like this, like a small town feed company logo set up, like for the kind of design. And and I was messing around with that kind of stuff. And there's a friend who I used to be in a band with who was actually at a different university at the time. And I was telling him about what I was working on and telling him the name. And I was saying like soy brand, you know, like soy brand skateboards, right? And of course, you know, me being a lifelong vegetarian, animal rights kind of person, that was kind of the basis of working with that idea. It was a bit of a placeholder, but there's no reason not to try and develop some design and ideation about it. And when I told him that, when I told my buddy like the name I was working with, he was like, why not?
That's the only stick for the soy boys.
So, what's that? I don't know what that means. But anyways, he said, why not soy bomb? And when he said that, now he was probably referencing actual, like the soy bomb stage pranker of Bob Dylan in the late 90s there. Like that might have been actually what he was referencing, maybe or maybe not, at very least maybe subconsciously. But I didn't even realize that at the time. I was just
That's
like,
soy brand, the only depths for soy boys.
the only depths for soy boys? Of course, he said the only stick. Oh, Dex. Ah. I mean, the term soy boys didn't even exist back then. Like, the alt-right didn't exist back then. At least not under that sort of name methodology. Anyways, when he said soy bomb, that just was like...
Yes, you could have changed history by usurping soy boy.
I did never, but it never would have occurred to use it. There was no like, the idea of putting those things together for any purpose wouldn't have made sense, right? But neither here nor there. So we were saying, soy bomb. Yeah, fireworks went off in my head because all of a sudden I was messing with this idea of like turn of the last like century design work that I was currently like minorly infatuated with. But then all of a sudden started thinking about like DIY post-hardcore politics that I sort of was adjacent to in the 90s, like with the 5 Arlington scene and like in Ottawa and like all the DIY post-hardcore movement that was happening in that middle of that decade. And how there was this homegrown like political movement that was like leagues ahead of anything that was mainstream was talking about, as counterculture political movements often are. But some of the graphic work, the design work, the ideas that were often used in like patches and buttons and t-shirts and whatever, always kind of turned my crank a little bit. And all of a sudden I saw like soy bomb as more like a skateboard brand, but a skateboard brand that could more easily reference like radical politics, like reference radical politics directly and like use some of these radical politics as like design reference ports for like art on the boards and shirts and stickers and stuff, right? Like all of a sudden, everything made more sense. Everything was like, oh my God, I can take this idea and run 10,000 fucking miles with this idea. I can take this idea and I can run and run and run and run. And so that's what happened. And Soy Bomb, so the fledgling skateboard company got renamed Soy Bomb from Soy Brand. And part of it was like the soy brand was a reference to my own personal like takes on like animal rights and vegetarianism, which is a pretty weak point to draw from, I think, for a skateboard identity. Like it's just very limiting. That's my remote for my cassette player. feels messed up. And then soy bomb referenced a lot more radical politics and ideation than just soy brand. Just by the name alone, it had so much fucking potential. So, so that was, so again, when my buddy mentioned that alternative naming idea, he might have been referencing the Bob Dylan thing. I don't know. And I knew about that Bob Dylan thing, but it didn't even occur to me when he said that. It instead sparked a whole other, because like, to me, that idea, like soy bomb represented like, you know, soy, as in like, you know, related to like the animal rights, vegetarian shit. But bomb, which, you know, to me related that whole anarchist principle of like, you know, destroying the status quo, destroying the system that's fucking everybody up in order to, you know, rebuild anew, or at least just destroy the fucked up system, right? The idea of like, and as, you know, not necessarily directly calling for like, directly calling for people going on to do bombing or anything. It's just imagery. It's radical political imagery that automatically just sort of kind of denotes the political philosophies you are coming from. It was just very easy, quick identification. And I just thought that there's like so much that could be done with that. And so that's how soy bomb became soy bomb. Is this one of those helium tanks? I don't know if it's empty or not. Why is that here? Why is there a kite in here? God damn, there is a lot of random crap that other people have stuffed in here. This is supposed to be my storage space.
Ivan says, or could think of it as birds eat soy seeds, then bomb the need first, LOL.
I mean, I guess that would have literally nothing to do with me or the skateboard company, but sure. But the idea of like having that as being a starting point for a brand identity meant that I could have ran in all kinds of different directions. I could have referenced decades of like radical, like political, like graphic design or theories or philosophies. Pardon me. Hold on, I did not catch that. Sometimes TTS is not all that clear. What is that? Okay. What did I miss there? Kite on head. What? Bazoo high.
Ivan says that tank looks like helium or our 134A. But Zombo says put kite on head.
Too late, it's gone. Uh-oh. Is this my stuff? Oh God, oh God. These are National Geographic and skateboard magazines that I was priming to give away. But also a bunch of old frames that Suzanne probably is going to be happy to see come back into the house. God damn it. Too many things and stuff, man. Anyways, with a name like Soy Bomb, you could like work with like a back patch idea of like some line work of someone laying on a street with the font saying "Arm the homeless."
Does hoarders be hoarding, bro?
It's not even hoarding. It's like, this is a huge fucking space. It's 3,000 square feet. When you have room You can just sort of grab stuff that you're getting for free thinking, I might be able to use this. Oh, that is a brand new thing of paint that never got used. That's definitely, oh my God. Here was some of my painting gear. Yeah, there's actually good paints. Some of these, is this the block filler? There's no way that's still good paint. That's 20 years old. Some of this you can tell is like it's separated.
Says my house is 1,800 square feet and now has 3 generations of shit in it.
Yeah, so when you have 3,000 square feet and lots, I mean, like, look at this area here, the square footage of this little storage area, which is a pittance of the space overall, is almost the size of your average bachelor apartment. You know, sans like bathroom and maybe a bedroom, or I guess you don't have a bedroom in a bachelor. Like it's can't tell if that's good paint still or not. It feels like it. What is this? Oh, could definitely use that. Floor enamel. God damn, so many like, these were all paints that were like procured like not too long ago before Soy Bomb got shut down for me to do a bunch of work on the space, to finish off a bunch of work. And then like once it got sold to condo developers, it was like, kind of like, well, I'm not putting any more time and money in the space because it's like only a matter of time before it's gone forever, you know? What is this? Oh, what's in this bin? Oh, another bin. All right, it's good to have some bins. I'm gonna need them. What is this? Some Lafarge, an unopened bag is a Lafarge Rapid joint. That's like gold, man. I don't even know if Lafarge still makes that stuff anymore. CGC kind of dominates the marketplace of like drywall, but Lafarge, there's a variety of different things. Had for a while there, a mudding material, both like bag mix and pre-made, that not only spread better, dried better, and sanded better, and was colored so that when it dried, it was the same color as like the gypsum board finish. So you could actually see how everything was looking as one color. Absolutely fucking brilliant. But they kind of disappeared from the marketplace. You know, Home Depot exclusively carried CGC. Oh God, these guys. These are my three. I have 3 fucking FirePod interfaces here that stopped being able to work in Windows after Windows 7. They weren't even like supported for after Windows XP. 3 8-channel fucking interfaces. I'm just gonna put those up for free on Facebook Marketplace and see if anyone else wants to dick with them, because they probably have some value to someone, just not me.
Ivan says my first house I owned is being bought out by condo devs. Ocean front view. They just put a high rise next to it.
Yeah, I hate the developers, as you might imagine. What's funny is that like none of these condos, not a single one of these condos, of all these condos that are made, almost nobody buys a condo thinking, this is where I want to live. This is how I want to live. I want to live in this box in a stack of boxes that has no personality, no community, no feeling of anything human or in any way, shape, or form. It's just all I can afford to get into right now, but I can build up my equity so that I might have something to trade on later to get myself into a home that I might actually like to live in. So they keep making all these shit places to live that like no one likes. Like no one fucking likes them.
Says it's for old people.
I mean, listen. When you're at retirement age, condo living can be easier. You don't have to look after a yard. You have less maintenance. You can simplify your life to a space where you just exist and maybe you can go out and do things, I guess, right? Like I get that, but that's not how it is in Toronto. None of these condos are like our retirement communities. They're all young, intending to be upwardly mobile, like young people who all come from like the 905. Like they all think they're building equity. All these people with their fucking mortgages thinking that they're going to like buy and sell their way up to success. Like it's a sad state of affairs. Again, the capitalism has sold the center the idea that they could be wealthy too if they just buy and sell hard enough. And all they end up doing is fucking just...
It says until the condo fees come into play, LOL.
Everything about it. The mortgages are expensive. The condo fees are expensive. Like there's not a compelling reason to want to live in a condo. Most people buy a condo and then rent it out for enough money to cover their fucking like costs. Maybe. Some people actually have to subsidize their fucking mortgages just to get someone to fucking rent them because no one wants to live in a fucking condo. There's also a shit ton of condos that are usually empty, that are just in holding from foreign investors, where offshore wealthy people are basically parking their money in Canada by owning property in Canada, so that they have wealth in Canada that can't be touched by the governments of the countries they exist in. Let's say they're a Bayesian billionaire or whatever, potentially like unstable.
It says, yeah, we have been getting a bunch of that here.
And so the condo developers rush to like fill the demand for this stuff. But it's a fake demand. Like it's not like it's not like people want these homes. No one wants to live in these places. So it's kind of fucking whack. Okay. Oh, that's a short one. Ugh, God damn, I might not be able to separate this. Oh, got some traction. Oh, motherfuck. So yeah, condos are the death of cities. In any way people thought of cities as a nice way, like you can take the Sesame Street aesthetic of like how we think of neighborhoods in the cities, where cities traditionally have always kind of been a whole bunch of small towns all just squished together, right? But you tend to know all your local shop owners because you see them all the time. It's your neighborhood. Your neighborhood is your small town. It might be a bit denser. There might be a bit more people. There might be a little less open space, but there's still a vibe of being in a neighborhood. When condos come in, two things happens. The property values go through the roof, which I guess is great for investors. But for people who live in these areas, they become inaccessible. All of a sudden, it's way more expensive to purchase less than you would have in the neighborhood initially. And all property values go up. The retail spaces, usually on the ground floor of these condos, are quadruple the price per square foot of what old buildings in the area used to be. So all of a sudden now, like young entrepreneurs, small business people, they cannot afford to get retail space in what's left of the downtowns because they can't afford the price per square foot that condos want to get, because the condos are trying to justify like their exorbitant costs by thinking they're going to get X amount of dollars per square foot. You know, it's part of their business plan. And that kills neighborhoods.
It says 300 square is now the same price as 1 acre a few years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, and so it kills neighborhoods because the majority of the people who lived in the neighborhood could no longer afford to live there. They can't afford the rents. They can't afford all the local shops and small businesses get replaced by corporate businesses, corporate chains like Shoppers Drug Marts and whatever else, just
Ivan says
box
property
stores.
taxes as well.
Box stores that are chain box stores open up everywhere, and everything all of a sudden becomes this unaffordable mess. It's less variety. It's more costly. Small businessmen cannot break that into that market, and regular working people cannot afford to live in that market. So all of a sudden, all these condos go up. The demographic changes dramatically. All the working class people are ejected. All the small business people and entrepreneurs are ejected. None of these people can afford to develop a business downtown. And you get all these office workers that move in who are like working for banks and insurance companies and other sort of big, large corporations. And they all move into these condos. All of them think they're developing wealth by like developing their first asset, which is their condo, as if that's something they're going to be able to do a stepping stone to more wealth later. Don't get me wrong. Some people have done this. There are some people whose whole life is about buying and selling, flipping, right? Like flipping properties, whether it be condos or whatever. I think that's something you could have done more closer to 2010-ish, around that area. I don't think that's something you can really do now. And with, I think everyone now, you have a bunch of like middle-class wannabes who think they're going to be upper middle class, but they're stuck with these properties that no one's going to want, with these crazy fucking mortgages that they're just barely affording to, they're all house poor or condo poor. And then meanwhile, on top of these people now living in these like trapped by these burden of debt in these horrible fucking cubicle homes, are also living in neighborhoods that have no character, no interesting businesses, nothing quirky, cute, interesting. No one gets to know their neighbors. Everyone just gets on the elevator, gets up, goes to their locked door. There's no one goes out of their condo to hang out in the hallway, see what their neighbors are doing. They just stay in their fucking condos. The isolation is profound. And there's no decent public spaces. The only way any other humans congregate in the downtown these days is fucking the poor, sad, lonely people who get dogs because it's the only companionship they are comfortable enough getting.
Says a world of introverts.
And so people get dogs and they all meet at the dog parks. And that's the only kind of social lives they have outside of their work socials, right? None of this, and it's all surface level, like, desperation, but nothing beyond that. So the city becomes this what used to be lower price properties. The Toronto itself, the downtown, is host to University of Toronto, Ryerson University, George Brown College, the Ontario College of Art and Design, and York's out, but a lot of York students live downtown because there's largely adult student population in the downtown core that drove culture for decades in the city. When you could get like real estate relatively cheap to open up like a cafe or a bar or a record store or some goofy clothing store, there's always opportunities with a bit of initiative and a tiny bit of capital to put together some kind of self-sufficient business. Those opportunities are gone. Students can't afford to live downtown anymore. So the culture that used to exist in Toronto based on the adult student body driving culture, driving art and culture and the adjacent overlapping communities, that's gone. It's been wiped out by development. Students can't afford to live downtown anymore. So they all live in the 905 and commute in. So none of these students have the time or wherewithal to exist socially outside of their school lives and their commutes, Everyone's lives as students has been reduced to 4 hours of travel time a day on top of whatever else is going on. It's such a whole, when I think about how vibrant this city used to be with a very large student, young adult student population driving the culture of this city, Toronto was exciting, super exciting in the 2000s, and it just got the life crushed out of it by development. No one can afford to not just live downtown. Students can't live downtown. It used to be like, you know, you go to university, your first year, you might be on res, unless you already knew some people and you could get a place together. And then second or third year, you were like in a house with people you've met and you're like, you know, doing a student house. And there's a lot of like, I think important adult development that comes in part of that too. But having all these young, driven people, close proximity with spare time and even potential to like work on stuff from like having access to stuff because you can afford a little bit of access. Like what that did for communities is like hard to put a finger on it, but it's gone now. Like it's fucking gone. Like it's gone. This city is fucking dead. Like it is so fucking dead. I don't know why anyone would want to live in Toronto now. I really don't. That's why like all the time and money I spent built.
Half Ivan says you think maybe of selling a piece of the half pipe on eBay to make a little bit of money.
I don't.
Like $5 a piece.
I mean, it's not like it's that famous, you know? It's infamous within a small, like very small, like niche community. But all these people live like these compartmentalized, like they're going to get a little 1 foot by 1 foot piece of the ramp. It's an ugly piece of fucking material. What are they going to do with that? I just don't. It would cost me more in effort than it would to earn an income from it. Let's put it that way. It would cost me more to do that than it would to like make an income. Anyways.
Ivan says hang it on the wall like art.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if someone wanted to come here and cut a piece out for themselves, they're welcome to it. I don't have the time for that. I don't have the time to look after my own shit. I shouldn't be standing here talking. I should be doing work. But I just wanted to like vent a little bit about the city's like crushing of its soul, like its actual like artistic soul. Now the suburbs have moved into the city and solidified. It's all condos and box stores on the condo main floor. And there's no small, interesting niche businesses. There's no young adults. Everyone who exists down here now is someone.
Ivan says eligible. Was wondering why you were standing around. Get to work, bish.
I think the people that are left downtown now have a very superficial idea of what the city should be to them, and they aren't even able to really grab onto that because they spend all their lives working to hold on to that tiny little bit of what they think is upward momentum for them. It's awful. I mean, so it sucks losing Soy Bomb and all the work I put into place and all the cool things that happened here over like 2 decades. But it's fine. There's this part of the city is so fucking dead. What am I going to do? I mean, even if I could continue staying here, I mean, I guess we'd still stay here, but you might have a neat little island oasis amidst a fucking ocean of mediocrity and soul-sucking bullshit. Like, there's nothing nice about this city. Like, the downtown sucks. Like, it's the suburbs, but in condensed form. That's all it is. You know what? An interesting thing I noticed over the last decade is this Toronto, the downtown, was an NDP progressive anchor for decades, fucking decades. And then the city started densifying and all these condo developments with all these kids from the fucking 905 from the suburbs, and the voting demographics changed and everything started flipping to liberal, which was blowing my mind. Is like, are all the downtown progressives really becoming more and more like center right? And I realized, no, all the center rights moved to the downtown to all these condos, all these business students trying to like do this and that. The city densified with liberals, with young liberal people who have no deep understanding of politics or economies or social movements and only just want to maintain a status quo that they think they can benefit from. And so they all vote liberal. So bit by bit, man, like the city is like, it is indeed dying, like in every way, shape, and form. Culturally, artistically, politically, economically, there's nothing left here. It is a fucking wasteland of shittiness. Having said all that, it's one of the factors that makes me not so heartbroken about losing this space, because the area sucks. But at the same time, I still live down the street. I still live in this neighborhood. It's like, I don't know. I don't fucking know. And I have
It says best adverts for Toronto. Sounds like a commercial.
Well, I was literally just about to say, I don't think it's much different.
Icon says visit this pile of shit.
I honestly don't think it's different in most cities in the entirety of North America. Like, I just don't think it's that much different. I mean, I think in order for Toronto to ever find itself as a city with culture again, I think there'll have to be a crazy economic depression that devastates the city, devastates the people that live in it, devastates working people, middle class people. I think there'd have to be I think and we're going to see this. There's already minor recessions. It's going to cascade. They keep trying to push development while the bottom is completely, like, the developers of this condo that bought and kicked us out, they're already trying to change their development from 20 stories to 30 stories, even though that goes against, like, what's allowed in this area. And I think doing 20s was already possibly beyond the existing bylaws.
Says is Ford still your owner?
Ford, your owner? I don't know what you mean by that. Is he the premier of the Conservative Party provincially? Yes. An owner? I don't know what the fuck that means. He sure is like to act like it. So anywho, yeah, man, I don't know. I think this is endemic of the entire Western world right now. I think
Capped Half-Icon says show me the blue tank.
It's a fucking helium tank for parties. Relax. It's not important.
Icon says the nozzle's on it.
I honestly don't give a rat's ass about the blue tank. Look, it's got a fucking balloon filling thing on it. It's fine. It's fucking helium. I think it's empty. Wait, it's not? Is it helium? Oh my God, it is helium. There you go. Oh, God.
Hyphen says I want to take some.
Well,
Hyphen says eligible.
These old lighting things that had a purpose here in the space. I just never got to them. Yeah, it's funny. When this place got sold to a developer and I realized there was no point spending any more time or money on it, I still had, like, even though I hadn't lived here since, like, I don't know, 2012 or something, 2013 maybe, I still had plans to keep developing the space to make just, keep making it cooler and cooler and cooler. Even after we had a moratorium on shows and we couldn't do party gigs anymore, I still wanted to make the place really cool because there's still a lot of cool, neat, fun things you could do in the space that aren't a gigantic, gig, right? And I wanted to keep making the space this ongoing art and culture driven focus for the people who live here and the adjacent communities. That was something I really, really wanted to do. But once it became clear that it was only a matter of time before the axe was going to fall, I was like, okay, well, I can't justify spending any more money or time here. Like, that's that. And when I should have been, going back 10 years, when I should have been renovating the house for Suzanne and I and making that a nicer place, instead of spending fucking time and money trying to make Soy Bomb nicer for a place that I was never going to own. Hindsight being 2020 and all that. Okay, I got a bunch of random shit here. I guess it's gonna be a random box. I do not need that. That is a busted ass bungee. Now this, I don't know if I still have the tabletop for this.
Says, yeah, 50-50, it's hindsight.
This weird old archaic table that little drawer goes into that I don't think I would ever repurpose for anything on, like, I just have no interest in this. However, the hardwood pieces of it are worth their weight in gold. I think I might take that home just to bust it down and use the hardwood. Hardwood is so fucking expensive for like just a base material to do millwork with that I look into reclaiming it everywhere.
I've got a nice manhole cover that would look good on there.
Huh? Manhole cover. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. This might actually have a recording of me and Buds back in the day. I should take better care of this until I have the time to digitize it. This is like also a curse of the modern existence. Trying to preserve, like, if you're old.
It says corn soy.
If you're old enough to have a lot of like analog things, it's cumbersome. It takes space for something you don't even use on the regular. Yet, what did you say? Porn soy? What does that fucking mean? This is a reel-to-reel tape deck. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Hyphen says BRB, gotta check the dinner.
It's missing the lock piece that holds the reel on there. Oh, well, whatever. I only want to hold on to this long enough to like digitize any reels I have with old recordings. Okay. Oh, God. What time are we at? 8 o'clock. I mean, I might be able to maybe go till midnight or so getting stuff ready, but God damn, it's taking forever. Okay, so we're talking about how Toronto and every North American city sucks now. And I think one of the reasons for bringing that up is, by the way, for whatever reason, I have a bunch of direct drive turntables back at a time when I was like, you know, obsessed with my vinyl. Still sort of am, but I don't need so many record players. And I was able to collect like used turntables. It was at that cusp in time where people were basically throwing turntables out, practically. So I will be selling a bunch of these on Facebook Marketplace in the coming year. Because again, I don't want to keep them, but it's good gear. Some good gear. Okay, I'm gonna start transporting a bunch of the stuff to the front. These are empty. Or the front, sorry, to the middle area. I don't know, but like, friends actually showed up before when I first started the stream on Facebook. and there was like a fun conversation going, but they pointed out that the titling wasn't working right because I hadn't figured out or knew how to do that in the first place with a Restream. So I stopped the stream to figure that out and fix that. And then when I did that, I had trouble restarting the stream again on Facebook, not realizing I had to unlink it and relink it. At that point, those friends were long gone, which sucks because there was some fun conversation starting about soy bomb. And that's just why I wanted to like do this in the first place. I wanted to talk about soy bomb amongst people who knew the space and might have, you know, some insights, some questions. I mean, I think related to that, oh, goddamn. As I said to others in the past, I have no intention of ever doing anything like soy bomb ever again. You know, I did it, did a lot of cool stuff, have a lot of amazing memories. But it's a lot of time, it's a lot of money. It is a money pit. Like, soy bomb has never, ever been a work of profit. And I don't think the idea of what soy bomb is can be a work of profit, right? Which is also why, first and foremost, as I always stressed in the past, first and foremost, soy bomb is a home to X amount of people and their animals, right? That was always a stress. It's a home first. Without people living here and paying for their rent, the space could not exist. And we just happened to be able to get, back in 2003, a large commercial space when the city was shedding its large commercial spaces and no one seemed to be like interested. So we got this really cool space. Just fucking dumb luck, really. I remember like back then, there was no like online advertising or classifieds really. It was iMagazine and Now Magazine was the classifieds you look through for like loft space, you know? That's how we found this space. It was twice as much as the rent we were looking to get. But my girlfriend at the time convinced me to come look. Just come look at the space. Make your mind up after you see it. And I didn't want to. It just seemed stupid and a waste of time. But like, oh, fine, we'll see what this amount of square feet looks like. And we got here, looked around, was kind of like, oh, fuck. We could build a big ramp in here. We could have huge bedrooms and we could actually have this really sick space. Again, me and my two roommates to be at the time, all three of us were gainfully employed carpenters. So we had money, we had the skills to build shit. So the factors that allowed us to get a space like soy bomb in the first place, those don't exist anymore in the city, really. I don't think there could ever be something like a soy bomb downtown again. And it's fine, whatever. But as for like a nexus for art and culture, overlaps of niche communities, I think the idea of a soy bomb is still important. And if anyone, anywhere in the city, or anywhere really, were interested in having some sort of DIY collective approach to like building a multi-purpose space, I would give near unlimited consultation. I just like, soy bomb was never the only DIY space around, not the first, not the last. Always super stoked to see how different groups of people put their own spin on the idea of DIY spaces. Fuck, why is this bin so huge? Jesus. I have any lids for some of these bins? I don't know. Oh, I have this space. I've been all night. Like I pulled off the surface of the ramp. And I've been like rooting out this storage space. Then I have to do the soundro mat, just throw all my sound gear into bins. And then I wanted to reclaim the OSB on what was most previously Amy's room, but originally my room. There's a bunch of hardware I want to collect. There's like slide rails for sliding doors. Like that stuff's worth a small fortune, and I have immediate repurposed like use for it. So I want to like strip all the hardware off, like a lot of the expensive hardware off some of the stuff. And then there's my storage room in the back, which is a lot of stuff I need to separate as well and get ready to move. I don't know if I can get all this done by midnight. Whew. What exciting live stream content. Anywho. What to say? Well,
It says chat while you hustle.
what is this? Where's my tea? Chat while you hustle. I'm trying. I mean, I just like, I would think I'd like to get more conversational about it rather than me just like blabbing forever. But whatever. Okay. What do we got? Fuck. If I'm not mistaken, I recently needed some blocks and I can't remember why. I don't think I'm going to keep these though. Way back in the day, I painted 4 of these blocks, primed them and painted them with 10,000 coats in order to fill all the little holes on them to make these white blocks so they could stand like this. And I have speakers on each of them. Neat at the time. Now I have these white fucking blocks. I have no idea what to do with. They're also impossible to keep clean because of all the surface pores. Also, I gotta order some food at some point. Oh my God. Do people like buy DVDs? Because I got a crap load of DVDs and not something I want to keep. If I'm being real. Not something I want to keep at all. Which turntable is this one? Oh, it's the Gemini. So this is like a DJing turntable. It's kind of like a entry-level direct drive copy of Techniques. I'm going to be spending the bulk of the month of February just trying to sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace to get rid of it. But when I was moving stuff around and getting ready to make space at my place to bring all the stuff from Soy Bomb, I finally listed my old 12-inch rigid chop saw compound miter, 65 degrees both ways over miter. Great saw, but I just didn't need it anymore. I got my Makita cordless, which I use for out and about, and then I got my Bosch, my nice Bosch for shop work. So I sold it. A guy came up from Niagara to get it, so started the process, downsizing. You spend money on stuff. When you grow up poor and you finally get something you spend money on, it is hard to get rid of it. You're thinking like, I'm not using this now, but what if my other saw breaks down, and then I can't afford to buy another saw? I'll have a backup. It's like, that chop saw, I didn't touch for the better part of 10 years. Laundry room oil paint, is that what this is? Jesus. Rock solid paint, more like. God damn. All these fucking DVDs, man. See, if I would have had like a couple weeks, if I'd gotten all this stuff done at my place with a couple weeks to spare, which was originally the plan, and I could have been doing all this stuff before the last soy bomb party, I could have been like getting the stuff home, listing it. Like, this shit does not happen the way it was supposed to. Good God, is this more DVDs? Why do I have so many DVDs? A lot of them are just bootlegs too. Okay. When I did a concrete project, I just laid out some concrete. So I was gonna like cut it and polish it to experiment with like use of like concrete tiles. I don't think, as much as I'm interested in doing that in the future, I do not think I'm gonna keep these, bring home these little slabs of concrete. God damn. Oh my God, it's at least 2 more tubs of DVDs. Like this typewriter, I don't know if I should keep this or not. It still works. Manual typewriter, kind of neat. Optima Elite. It actually has a lid that goes over it somewhere. Needs a good cleaning now. It's been sitting around uncared for, but yeah, you know what? This thing's fucking cool. I don't know if I'll keep it long term, but I don't think this is something that should go on the curb. I'll find the lid for it in the other storage room and I'll put it on the shelves. Oh my God. These are empty DVD jewel cases. Because there was a time when I actually used to like copy DVDs, download, burn them, blah, 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 for myself and friends. I used to like giving people free movies all the time. That's such a weird thing. I mean, can I even get rid of that? Is there even a free market for that? Oh my God, this is all DVDs. Jesus H. Christ. Oh, these are more empty? Nope, some empty cases. Jesus. There's the screens for the windows, which don't matter anymore. This is... Oh my God. It's all stuff to give away, but... I mean, of all the music people I know, I bet you there is still a use for blank CDRs and cases and stuff for random self-made merch. The fuck is this? Oh my God. I also been too busy to book someone for helping me move tomorrow. Someone with a van or a truck and extra time. Why am I carrying this block over here? All right. I think I'm going to call it. Should we do one last walkthrough? I have a lot of work to do. I think I just need to focus on the chores. If I'm live streaming, I tend to want to be thinking about like what to talk about. And without anyone directing a conversation, I find that it's wasting my time. So under the ramp was always storage for us. There's lots of nooks and crannies for storing in this space. As I say, you have 3,000 square feet and always populated by like art-centered people. People collect random things thinking they're going to make something cool out of it. And
I'd like to see the stream, but calling it is the best choice.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like... Listen, this channel was meant to be having more produced content in the future, talking with like artists and musicians about DIY things like adjacent to Soy Bomb, I think. I think there's lots of ongoing conversations to be had. There's a sounder mat, partially stripped down. I have to like box all this shit. So once I finish getting everything out of there, this is the next mission, sounder mat. And then I have a subwoofer in there. I should probably, at the very least, reclaim, clean up, and sell. I need to strip hardware off of the big sliders. My beautiful kitchen I built. I don't think I'm preserving anything from here. I don't know. Like, all the roommates have all moved to their new spaces. I don't know what all this stuff is. Is this all stuff that was left here by previous roommates and just no one knows who it is? Like, that's crazy. There's gonna be a lot of stuff on the curb tomorrow, I tell you what. I gotta take that freezer home too. God damn. It's a lot. But you know what? I'm gonna take these two tables home, put them in the backyard too. Two rolling tables with the Soy Bomb logos on them. If I find a way I can store them and cover them up safely. Those are good project tables for when the work in the shop needs to expand outwards for workspace. I could never purpose build anything better than what I've already built here for Soy Bomb. So yeah, I'm gonna have to reclaim them. God damn, I'm gonna need some tarping. Anywho, there's the old ramp surface. There's the old ramp surface. And then half the things in here also got to come out. I got to do to this room what I was just been doing in the front area. I don't know what the plan is for all the stuff in here. This was Tim's room. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff left here. I don't know what the roommates are keeping or not. I think most, those fucking chairs got to come. Yeah, fucking hell, man. I don't know if I can get everything out tomorrow. It's crazy. I'm going to put it on wide mode. That stuff's not mine. I don't know what's happening with that, but part of the start of my mic stands. The stools I'm keeping, not that bench. These are, I mean, it won't probably happen till the new year when I have some time. But these are the leftover Soy Bomb last gig merch shirts. So I'll be putting on, I really do plan to make more produce design content on these soy bomb channels.
Maybe you could use the skates for greater mobility while sorting. Bazample says nice.
Those are not my...
Bazample says an XXL. Bazample says any.
Yeah, we're just looking at one. Not many. There's a couple 3XLs and a couple 2XLs. Look, there's an XXL. Is there any that's open? I could show you the design. No. Well, if you saw the poster for the last gig, it's basically that. It's the last gig poster. And I want to do like more soy bomber merch in the future. Like I just want to have a couple things in an online store that's just a mainstay, like something that's like a regular thing that everyone can easily like just the soy bomb logo, red on black or something, right? Easy to recognize what it is. Those who know. Nothing too pricey, you know. If anyone gets a bit extra pocket change and wants that soy bomb ephemera, it'll be there.
Let me know. I'm down for a shirt or two.
There will definitely be a shirt or two, Baz. You'll be hearing about it. Like once I get time to deal with all this stuff after all this shit is settled, you know, you'll hear me talking about it just in the regular soy bomber live stream stuff. But yeah, I in the process of like ending soy bomb, I got reacquainted with so many people and realized that there's so many unfinished conversations. And I think a lot of these conversations are worth documenting. So I want to live stream conversations with friends and then like edit some of that content like later for clarity for YouTube and just, you know, make content about stuff I know well, which I've never really done before. So what the fuck not? Yeah, someone made prints and put all these pictures up the day of the show, the last show. There's Smokey, there's Kinsley, there's Kamiko. It was M's cat. I can't remember M's cat's name. Don't know who that is there in that picture. But that's Michelle, our friend who lived here and passed a couple years ago. Yeah, damn. Anyways, let's walk out back to the ramp and I can end this up. And then once I end the stream, I can see if I can book some movers from Das Rabbit for tomorrow. Unless there's anyone catching this video that has a van and a couple able-bodied hands, could really use the help tomorrow. Anyways, this is a long stream of nothing. I hope people who caught it enjoyed it. How do I do the flippy flip? There's the flip. And there is old Jay. All right, everyone. I gotta get to work.
Says good luck.
Thank you. Hope to catch you guys in the future. I don't think on the Soy Bomb channels we'll see something like this again. Where just me, you know, this is like a weird thing where I'm dismantling my life at Soy Bomb. And so I thought it was an interesting opportunity to show a little bit of the guts of Soy Bomb, because a lot of people only know the space from gig parties, and it's totally a different vibe at the time. So I thought it was cool to show the space, the skeleton of the space, and maybe have a conversation about it while I'm doing the work. And we had a little bit here and there, but there'll be more opportunities in the future, just not in this kind of setting. So I bid you adieu. Is that how you say it? Adieu. See you, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye. Peace.